Hello, Chad, and welcome to a brand new week of the Roomba 5. Welcome to Easter. We start. It's Easter. Next week is gonna be the Easter festivities because Jesus died for our sins and shit like that. Quick, Goober, say hello.
Hello, Goober.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Wait, quick question. What do you mean the the festivities are next week?
Well, okay.
Today.
So yes, but
Also
ever since I was a kid, it's like it starts on like festivities in Spain for Easter start on the Thursday, on the same Thursday, and end like a week after.
I assume it's a Catholic thing.
Oh, you crazy Catholics. Say that as if I haven't been raised Catholic my entire life.
Look. It's the Easter festivities exist. All right. It's Lent is over, and Easter's mascot animal is a bunny for a reason.
Fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
Ballin'. What at what cost?
The monthly birth rates of like per month do support that hypothesis.
Bruh.
Be putting new 4Gs on the Jeep.
I level up
What up?
fishing.
Fish.
Fish.
Fuck my horseradish.
How's everyone's week been?
Fine.
I think it's been pretty good.
It's been fine and ending on a high note.
Does anybody have any fun news to share?
I mean,
No.
it is fun for you, Bolt, because it's your birthday.
Happy birthday, Bold.
Happy birthday,
Cake.
Bolt.
He's the
At least the last bits of your birthday.
Get cake emojis in the chat.
Bolt was born on the funny weed number.
Yep.
Yes. The Dutchman was born on Weed Day. Anyway, on my end, I don't really have any like fun news from real life. It's more just I guess I mean for some of the stuff I'm moving forward for some of the actual proper like longer term job stuff I'm looking for. But that means for one of them, because it's with a law enforcement agency, it's extremely extensive background check, which means for some reason it's my job to go find 50 billion documents.
Yeesh.
Makes absolutely no sense.
None at all.
I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I'm not happy about it.
I mean, for some of them, I see it makes sense, but some of them it's like, I have to go to the county in order to get these documents anyway. You are the county. You are the sheriff. Come on.
Yeehaw.
Or it's like, well, this document apply? Well, it applies to half of it, so you still need the full thing. It's like, well, then what's the point of that? Just say no. Then they gave me a list of documents, and then a couple days later they gave me a second list, which is most of the same documents, but with some additional documents added to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, where's Lewis?
And I've needed to order a second copy of my transcript because they want a sealed copy of the transcript, and I've obviously opened the copy I have because I needed to scan it in to use it to apply to things. Like this position.
Bruh.
Did you pay for that first transcript? You don't have
Yes.
to pay for it. You can just use an unofficial copy.
Well, no, because they want official copies of the transcripts. And this was an official copy I was using, and then they're like, alright, cool. We need a sealed copy as part of the background check. Also, we need a sealed copy of your high school transcript as well.
Can I go in? Yes, I can. Good evening. Hello.
It's just like... And the thing is, with as many documents as they want, luckily, for me, half of them don't apply to me because it's things about like, oh yeah, we need marriage certificates, divorce decrees, bankruptcy records, documents for if you've ever been in court for anything, really.
A decree for a divorce is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's yeah.
It sounds kind of funny to me, I'll be honest.
I decree we
Terminology-
are hereby divorced.
the terminology used on the document. That is the list of documents.
I believe you. It's just funny.
Yeah.
Also, for everything except the transcripts, because when we sealed copies, I need when I show up to the thing for the actual background check, they want both the original and a photocopy.
Wait.
Because I'm gonna hand over the photocopies, and they're gonna make sure they match the originals, and then I can take the originals home.
Okay, that makes
Like-
total sense. I guess.
Yeah, I was like, in that case, why don't you just have me show up with the originals and just show me? All right, here's our photocopy machine. Like, come on.
Can't be that
Are you
hard.
sure you want to work for these government agencies if they're so inefficient?
I mean, she makes a good point.
Or just I imagine part of it is like some legal thing where it's like legally they're not allowed to access some of these or what. I don't fucking know. Either that or it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, make sure you actually want to work here in this position. It's an extra hurdle.
God damn it.
I don't fucking know. Regardless, I've got a bunch of shit I need to do related to that this week. Need to go to get documents from the DMV. Need to get. Anyway, I'm gonna work with my parents to get some help on that and where I need to go for everything. Anyway, other than that, that kind of wraps up my week this week.
Do you get the info from the contact I gave you? Not help at all? I guess it didn't lead anywhere, huh?
For the
Yeah.
guy who came in.
Yeah.
Well, I spoke to him in person because he was up here for something.
Yeah.
And
He
I've
had the
reached out-
convention.
He actually had a job up here. But it was I reached out. He told me to reach out to his hiring person, so I reached out to the hiring person. Then I reached out to the hiring person again. Then I reached out to the hiring person again, and I've never gotten a response from them.
Okay.
It's a shame too, because he thought you were a really cool person.
Yeah, I spoke with him. He was really cool. It's just whoever is doing his hiring is apparently doesn't read their inbox.
That sucks. That's absolutely horrible.
And, like, I have his contact information. Like, so I'm planning on messaging him directly again, saying like, hey, I'm still interested in this. I've yet to hear back from your hiring manager still.
Yeah, if I don't have the if you don't want me in the to apply for the position, but also try not to reach out too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the other side of that is I don't want to spam him, but like, bruh.
Bruh.
Anyway, idea box time.
Not everyone has told their weeks, right?
Yeah, literally only if you've done it.
Yeah.
I thought everyone was kind of going that my week was fine.
Let's see. What do we do?
Well, hold on, Mina, wait, before you go here, have this.
What are you Okay,
It's so you
Thank-
get more energy to do things.
okay. I need to sell some stuff first.
Yeah.
You guys giving Mina a caffeine.
No, he's giving me some jelly that he found in the river. Thank you so much for the cyanobacteria. I appreciate it.
What?
It's bacteria.
Oh. Like,
Oh shit.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for the E. coli.
Pretty much.
I wish that was entirely a laughing matter.
Let's
But we'll
see.
get
What
to
did
that
I get? Hello, Miso. Let's see. I had an interview this week. A second
Hell
interview.
Yeah, baby.
And they called me Friday. The hiring manager for this location has a special talent for calling me right after I get into work, even though I've told her my hours at my current job.
Oof.
But I guess she's gonna keep doing it as long as I keep answering. So, but it's I applied for an event coordinator position because I'm used to coordinating events. Nothing happens in my friend group unless I plan it, basically.
Yeah.
And it's just neat. It's at an apartment complex, and they offer food share at their stuff, and they have like events. Right now they've got some Tai Chi going on. They have like a little school for kids to do like homework and stuff in, because it's a low income area, so a lot of their parents just don't speak English.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is what it is,
Yeah.
And as some of you may know, I have experience in teaching.
Yep. I remember the
And-
Mina teacher arc.
Yeah, my teacher arc. But while I was in university, I was also the event coordinator for the gay club, and
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry, the what?
yeah, A gay
The what
club?
club?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have those over there in Europe? I mean, I know
No.
you guys are homophobic as fuck, but damn.
No, why
We
would
just
have-
don't have clubs in general in Europe.
Pathetic.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
you do
no, no,
have
no.
clubs.
In Europe, all you have is like the two fraternities that are all inhabited by all the rich people's kids.
Yeah, honestly,
The modern
Sports club.
aristocracy.
We don't need no silly clubs
Musical
to
club.
socialize with others.
Jimmy, you don't
You don't have
socialize with
clubs?
anyone at all.
I used to when I was in school.
My point still stands.
The clubs were honestly less even for social. It's more like, yo, this is where you go if you want to play chess. This is where you go if you want to play D&D. This is where you go if you want to do frisbee golf.
Yeah, they're just places where you hang out with other people of like-minded interests. And sometimes if you
musical
have
squads.
like an established organization, right, you
Mhm.
can do events or you can go on field trips. Like one of the events that we did was damn it, I stole it. What was it that we did? We had a couple drag shows that we hosted. We had a potluck. I brought a whole turkey.
That actually sounds cool. Drag shows actually.
Yeah, so we went to drag shows. The point is, hold on. My mouse. What the fuck is that?
Unfortunately, drag shows do not involve dragging a local politician through the mud.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
more so thinking drag cars, but
No, it's a drag queen show, dumbass.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Dumbass.
Dragging a local politician.
I'm your
through the mud.
friend, dumbass, forever.
Yeah,
Please help.
let's see.
Uh,
We have more seeds.
A drag race driven by drag queens.
the drag race.
What else was I gonna do? But I organized like this huge event on Valentine's Day for the gay club, right?
Mhm.
We had wristbands that were different colors, and depending on the color, it would indicate your status. So we had single but not interested. We had looking for friends. We had looking for partners, and then we had name tags, which had pronouns and your sexuality flag, so that people will know more or less what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun. It was a very successful night that night. Also, the catfish goes in the riverfish bundle.
Okay. I saved one just in case we needed it.
Yeah, we do. So you can go ahead and put it in whenever. I've already got the.
Okay. Right now I'm fishing by the sea.
Yeah, I know. Whenever. I literally do mean whenever.
Okay.
Idea box?
I need.
I mean something. I think it was this week. Was it this week? I think I put him in the idea box.
What was it?
I got a job interview.
You always
Yeah,
put
That's
it in
right.
the idea
You
box.
did put it in.
Yeah, that's in the idea box somewhere. Go ahead and cover that now.
Okay, so a few days back, my sister just randomly sent me a message through WhatsApp. She's like, "Yo, get dressed nicely for tomorrow." I'm like, "What? What? What's going on? Am I missing something? Am I missing a festivity or something?" She's like, "Nah, just we're going to my work to get your job interview." I'm like, "Oh."
You're like, do I have a say in this?
I was just like, I was just dragging along, and I was like, fuck it, why not?
Fuck it, I need a job anyway.
Yeah. So, TLDR, this job was mostly like, you are here to help on the weekends, which is like high rise for tourists and shit like that, because the job I got some for the interview is a bike rental shop that also provides tours through Valencia, filled to the brim with Dutch. Oh my god, I could not for the life of me remember the word. Full of Dutch people.
Oh yeah,
Dutch.
the Dutch people go like
They
"I'm
do
gonna
love their
actually-
bikes.
Yeah.
They're actually
Yeah.
lovely tourists, to be fair.
My sister has horror
American
stories about
tourists just
Dutch people being tourists, like horrible tourists.
Only the British are horrible tourists, from what I know.
No, the Americans are pretty bad tourists too.
The Americans are
I
pretty
mean,
bad,
both
yeah.
they both speak English. So
I
that
cannot
already says
think of
enough.
a good tourist.
I've never had anything bad from Spanish tourists.
Except for maybe,
Oh,
I was gonna say the Japanese, but then I remember when I was working at the jewelry store by the airport, they were pretty terrible too.
It's
I
also
believe
like,
every
it depends on
tourist
the
group is
person.
fucking
There's
terrible.
some horrible people out there, regardless of their nationality.
Of course there are. People are so accustomed to their... Dude, I had a tourist. Like, she seemed like she would have been a nice person if I knew her, but she just handed me her stuff and expected me to follow her around the store like her personal shopping basket.
Damn.
And I'm just
We have
staring at her
it's called a
bewildered.
shopping basket. It's right
We
there
had...
at the door.
I can't be too loud, sorry. But we had shopping baskets. That's the fucked up part. They're right next to me. So I just handed her one. What the fuck do you want me to do? Follow you around?
Isn't it?
No, it
Yeah.
didn't. She's just like looked at me bewildered. Madam, this is a small store. It is an outlet store. We ain't doing your fancy schmancy shit here.
You don't do that fancy shit, Brownie.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat a cave carrot. Two cave carrots.
Keyword.
Anyway. So, top of the idea box.
Top of the idea box.
Mina. Activist nuns take on corporate America through stock market investments.
Okay, give me 1 second. Can you skip me until we get to the end of a day?
I'll go for the first thing I put in here, which is rare Texas W.
ooh.
Granted, it's specifically Austin, Texas, which is where most of Texas's W's come from. So,
Also, is Austin the W city in Texas?
Austin is the capital city of Texas and is basically the only part of Texas that isn't deep red.
It's the California of Texas.
Yeah, it's the California. Of
Ah, okay, now I get it.
It's the California. I don't think I've ever heard
Now I get it.
something
Look,
like that. It's the
let's
California
just
of
say-
Texas. You already have California. You don't need a California of a place.
It's Jimmy, shut up. It's the more liberal part,
It's
is what I
Yeah,
mean.
basically.
It's the blue part of Texas, and the state government's favorite thing to do is to disenfranchise Austin
Damn.
for no particular reason at all. Anyway, Austin, Texas has amended its building code to legalize single staircase small apartment buildings,
Okay.
which to the Europeans makes no sense. But so the reason, one of the things contributing to America having a big housing problem is
Landlords.
well, yes, but also apartment buildings in the United States, basically universally, must have at least 2 staircases accessible by every single unit, which which basically forces American apartment buildings to be basically the entire block. Like small little couple unit apartment buildings in the US don't exist.
GG.
They just don't. Now, the reason they don't exist is because American cities had a habit of burning to the fucking ground.
San Francisco.
San Francisco did it like 3 times, I think. But like, yeah, it was the whole problem was Americans like to build their buildings out of wood.
And cardboard box.
Yeah, basically. So, American buildings had a habit of catching fire. So, basically universally cities establish that apartment buildings need to have at least 2 internal staircases accessible to all the units
Mhm.
to do better escapes. However, Austin's like, between advancements in modern fire departments and modern building codes and stuff, this is kind of superfluous to requirement and really only exists to make it harder to build housing. Especially since this is like specifically for like 2 or 3, maybe 4 floor buildings. Where it's like the fire department will be able to get there in time. It's fine, and they'll just put up a ladder, or if you're on the 2nd floor, there's bushes right outside. Just jump.
Just jump.
It basically means you can actually build apartment buildings on like individual lots instead of having to get like 10 different lots together and merge them together into one big building. Which is also due to the fact it needs to have an internal hallway. Basically can only have like 1, maybe 2 bedroom apartments. If that, assuming it even has individual bedrooms and isn't just a studio apartment. Which is one of the other things that contribute to these housing problems because of the apartment issue. Apartments basically only exist for like single people.
Yikes.
It's single people and poor people cramming into one room, basically. It's apartments that you can actually have like a small family in don't exist.
Whack.
Well, they do. They're just the small income ones that I'm working with.
Yeah, it's like I think it was like a study found like something like Canada has the problem too, because I think it was Vancouver specifically. The study was found like over 90% of like the units for like apartment rentals in Vancouver are like 1 bedroom or studio apartments, which is like, oh yeah, that's for like singles and maybe a married couple with no kids.
Okay, I've got the nuns up.
Yeah. So yeah, building W.
I think the only thing that has my like hair on hackles, right, is how do I say this? Because I've had the 9/11ism for so long, like my brain screams, "This is a bad idea." I know it's not going to be anywhere near that bad.
No,
You know what I mean?
This is for like small little like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
things.
right? No, that's what I'm saying.
Over some number of floors, you still have to have the same thing.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Rationally, I know this is not going to be that bad. Rationally, I know there's probably still going to be plenty of fire escapes for people to get out.
Yeah, either an external fire
But
escape or modern building is able to compartmentalize and keep fire out of a unit for like, or if like you set your apartment on fire, modern building, because yeah, it's gonna stay entirely within your apartment for like an hour and a half, assuming you close the door. That's more than enough time for the fire department to show up and put it out. And even if it's not, it's more than enough time for everyone else to get out of the building via the like one staircase. And even if it is, oh, the staircase is kind of filling with a bit of smoke. Yeah, you've got a fan in the staircase nowadays, and you don't have to go very far. And I saw some floors like, oh, but ADA no, that's what the first floor is for. If someone in a wheelchair is gonna be in the building, they'll be on the first floor. That's how that works. It's cool.
That's how it should work, anyway.
Yeah, I understand you want to make it so everything's accessible by a wheelchair, but like, that's just not practically possible. One thing to have it be like, oh yeah, it's a business building.
Meep, you're going a bit too far.
Sorry, I'm going off topic. The nuns.
Yeah, the nun thing. Forget picket signs. These sisters prefer stock portfolios. Basically, nuns are taking corporate America by shares. How to explain it? How the fuck to explain this?
Donks.
Yeah. In Atchison, Kansas, an unlikely group of activists is taking some of America's biggest corporations through the stock market. Sister Barbara McCracken, is an experienced activist who has been arrested in immigration protests. We went into the office of our state attorney because his rulings that we didn't care for regarding immigrants, that we felt were unfair and unjust, McCracken told ABC News. She leads a different kind of revolution in her tranquil monastery an hour outside.
I think it'd be a nunnery if it's where the nuns are.
Yeah, it's a monastery. What?
Because I'm pretty, unless I'm mistaken, it's the monasteries where the monks are, the nunneries where the nuns are.
They're both just under monastery, from what I'm understanding.
Whatever.
Not important. McCracken and her fellow nuns at the Benedictine Sisters of Mount St. Scholastica say they were transformed into savvy investors using their shareholder status to advocate for corporate change at tech giants and Fortune 500 companies. They invest at least $2,000 into a company stock to gain shareholder rights, then submit resolutions for pushing corporate responsibility. We look at companies with child labor issues, employment policies, and how they treat their employees, Sister Rosemarie Stahlbaumer explained. Their benefit packages, the wages, and whether the CEO gets a huge amount of the profits rather than sharing it with workers, for me, is the human element.
So the MAGA calls them communists, got it.
Mm-hmm. The initiative serves a dual purpose. While the monastery relies primarily on private donations and fundraising, these stock investments help secure the sisters' retirement as they receive no financial support from the Catholic Church. Which, yeah, common Catholic L. The Catholic Church does not support the community, she clarified. The community's always worked and supported ourselves. All religious orders do that, contrary to what some of the general public might believe. In the past year alone, the sisters have submitted more than a dozen shareholder resolutions, including pushing Alphabet, Google's parent company, to adopt stricter AI development rules, urging Chevron to establish an independent human rights monitoring commission, and calling on Amazon and Verizon to implement more transparent lobbying practices. The companies declined ABC News' request for comment. While none of the resolutions have passed, the sisters remain undeterred. Over the years, it's begun to make a difference, Stahlbaumer said. Some of these companies begin to want input from the group on what their human rights policies should look like. It takes a long time. That's one of the blessings of religious communities. We're in this for the long haul. Which, I love that for them so goddamn much.
Yep. They're actually like, yo, Jesus said love thy neighbors, so we're gonna like do work to make the life of our neighbors better.
You're gonna love your neighbor and you're gonna like it.
Hell yeah. Anyway. Now, next up, we've got the absolute nonsense that is America's tariffs. Oh boy. Alright.
Oh yeah.
So, shipping companies have confirmed that as recent as last Thursday, the tariffs weren't even being collected. They were wreaking havoc on the economies of the entire world, and they weren't even collecting them.
The bookseller!
Bro, my god.
Though they are reportedly being collected now, with the ports now reportedly overflowing with containers of goods abandoned by owners who can't afford to pay the tariffs. The high-profile Republican Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene, aka Marjorie Trader Greene, has been implicated in potential felony insider trading in relation to buying massively into the stock market just before the tariff pause was announced. The initial statement seemed to indicate it doesn't look like she's the one who was behind the big giant spike in the futures for like 5 hours later, just before Trump's great time to buy tweet. This was just like normal insider trading, but still. And also, California is suing the federal government to block the tariffs.
Nice.
California's like, fine, I'll do it myself. I have the most to lose. I'm the one with all the economy.
Yeah, fair point, actually.
I'm the state with the largest GDP. I'm the state with the largest farming sector. I'm the state with the largest manufacturing sector.
Which is the state with the largest population again?
California. By a lot.
And they want to fuck over us? Okay, bitch.
California's like, I have the world's 5th largest economy.
And I'm a
palm
state.
of my
Boy.
hands.
Anyway, yeah, California's stats flexing for a moment. Anyway, so the other thing from the administration this week, there was a lot from the administration this week because they're really on their bullshit.
Ooh, these are really nice.
Yeah.
Let's see, we
So-
got Old Slither Legs and Combat Quarterly.
So, this week in the Oval Office, POTUS held a press conference with another world leader. This time being the air quotes president, dictator of El Salvador, self-professed world's coolest dictator of El Salvador. That's what he calls himself. In an Oval Office that has been decked out with a bunch of gold decorations, gilded decorations, and for some reason, a really big model of a 747 in the middle of the room. I don't know why. But yeah, they hold a press conference. A lot more friendly than the one that was held with Zelensky. I wonder why. And as part of this, they confirmed that they have no intention of returning the wrongfully gulagged man to the United States, despite the Supreme Court ruling 9-0 in saying that, yeah, you have to do that.
And it's not like Republicans can cry that, you know, it's the fucking liberal government. It's the man put them there.
Yeah.
Most
Also,
of
yeah, the administration also claimed that the 9-0 ruling was actually in their favor.
You're kidding, right?
No, I'm not.
For
I mean, Trump
fuck's
didn't
sake.
say this. He literally deferred to one of his advisors who said this whole statement for him because Trump doesn't know what the fuck's going on. He's just the figurehead. He's just old in dementia and likes to play golf. And take the credit for things. That's all he does. Trump also said he wasn't like directly in the interview, but he was caught on the microphones telling the dictator of El Salvador that he'd be down to fund the construction of more El Salvadoran gulags and even send U.S. citizens to them.
Whoa.
that this
Shots
doesn't
fired.
horrify people is fucked up.
In completely unrelated news, the judge in the case initiates criminal contempt of court proceedings against the administration.
Is it going to do anything? Probably not.
Probably not. Trump's just going to
Probably
pardon
not.
the administration. He's not allowed to do that, but he's going to do that. Hold on, there was a second part of this in here somewhere. Where was it? There's it.
Oof.
Yes. So, one of the senators of Maryland, where this whole thing started, traveled to visit El Salvador to visit in person with the guy whose name was Kilmore Abrego Garcia. I finally remember to actually write down his name. Who is the guy that got gulagged by quote administrative error. And he went. This senator went down there, and was like, "I'm gonna speak with this man, so help me God." And brought Garcia's lawyer along with him, and spent several days just trying to get a meeting set up. Initially, was just kind of blocked. The El Salvadorans really didn't want him to speak with him. Initially, being stopped by soldiers 3 kilometers from the prison.
While Republican senators were all allowed to take pictures inside, they fucking didn't want to let him in.
Yeah. But eventually, they did manage to get a meeting set up, which El Salvador staged the shit out of. Like they set him up in like what I think was like a hotel or something. Where they set him up. They wanted to set him up poolside, but eventually it was just like at a table, where the El Salvadorians like were setting up things to make it like put out like fake margaritas to set it look like they were drinking margaritas. To just try and downplay the severity of the nonsense and be like, oh yeah, no, he's having a swell time.
He was not.
No. No, he got sent to a foreign gulag. He got sent to a concentration camp, okay? It's... Yeah.
My mom told me that she did not trust that man ever since he wanted to ever since he stated that he wanted to unite all of the countries in Central America under one government where he would be the top.
The dictator of El Salvador?
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust him either. Also, he self-describes as a dictator.
Which is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Far from it.
It's... Yeah, the other part of it is the... Where was it? There was a quote I wanted to read as part of this whole nonsense. From the U.S. Holocaust Museum, quote, "What distinguishes a concentration camp from a prison, in the modern terminology, is that it functions outside the judicial system. The prisoners are not indicted or convicted of any crime by judicial process." Which is exactly what's going on here. It is, and just like, by the way, like the Nazi ones, they're held outside of the country who set them up. Because all the...
Because if they escape, where are they going to go?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's why all the like sites are in like Poland. Okay. That's why this is such a big fucking deal that people are trying to downplay because they're fucking fascists. Anyway. Also, Mr. Garcia has reportedly been moved to a different El Salvadoran prison now.
Relocation,
And also, to just completely undermine Trump's whole case that, like, yeah, no, there's nothing we can do, Lamau. It was either the El Salvadoran dictator or his vice president accidentally said that, like, I've seen both claims, so I don't know which one it is, but one of them said that, yeah, they're holding on to Mr. Garcia because the Trump administration is paying them to hold on to him. Reminder, Trump is saying there's nothing we can do. We can't bring him back. It's all in the hands of El Salvador.
No, it's not.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I call bullshit.
Yeah. It's just complete nonsense. And hopefully this gets resolved, because, like, the thing is, they're not even, like, necessarily trying to, like, get him released. They're trying to get him brought back to the United States so he can have his due process rights. Because I'll be honest, I'm convinced one of the reasons the Trump administration doesn't want him to get out is because as soon as he gets out, the amount of defamation lawsuits he's gonna file against everyone on the right is basically gonna be enough. He's probably gonna be set for life. I'm gonna be honest. They have
And
been
it will be funny as
making
soon
up
as he gets back.
so much bullshit about this man. Like, Trump was holding up a photoshopped image in the Oval Office as part of his justification. Okay? It's
kind of stupid.
Forget doubling down. They're like quintupling down. Alright? The Supreme Court unanimously said bring him back. And like 2 members of the Supreme Court are known for just doing whatever Trump wants. Okay?
There's a limit to stupidity even for some people.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway. Let's move on to the Middle East.
My Arabic brothers.
So, the new US-Iran nuclear deal seems to already be falling apart. With Iran functionally backing out. international nuclear watchdogs estimate Iran could field a nuclear weapon in, quote, months. So, that's how that's going. Israeli officials say that the US has been basically blocking the IDF from, they want to strike Iranian nuclear facilities. And America's saying, no, don't do that. So, you know. You'd think the administration could do something about the fact that they're still bombing civilians in Gaza, but, you know. Which I'm pretty sure something else Trump claimed he'd be able to do quickly on the campaign trail. Along with how he'd say he'd solve the war in Ukraine before he even took office. You know. How's that going? In other news, the US has announced it plans to fully withdraw all its forces from Syria. So, you know, that's how that's going. And finally from the Middle East, the US has accused a Chinese satellite company, which has ties to the Chinese military, of supplying satellite images to the Houthi rebels to help them target US warships and civilian cargo ships in the Red Sea. Which is, you know, sus as fuck.
Very.
If true. It's also kind of weird, because, like, most of the trade that goes through the Red Sea is, like, coming from China. Like, China's one of the people who benefits most from it stopping, you know? Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Other news. The European Union has begun issuing burner phones to diplomats sent to the United States due to fears of the US cloning official phones and sharing intelligence with Russia.
That's sad.
In related news, Canada, Germany, France, Denmark, and Ireland have advised their private citizens to use burner phones while traveling to the US due to fears of ICE's digital surveillance. Because that's the fucking state of America nowadays. To take a break from politics for a moment. New York City. In the wonderful world of New York City, where a helicopter literally fell out of the sky.
Yay!
Yeah. There was a helicopter which crashed into the Hudson River and was unfortunately lost with all hands. We have basically the only thing I've seen is some analysis of it happened to occur in front of, there was a CCTV camera that managed to catch this happen, because it was like I don't know if it's CCTV or like a weather camera or something, because it was pointed up at the sky and the helicopter flies into the shot and then just basically spontaneously disassembles.
Bruh.
Just spontaneous. Okay.
Yes. Because we also have some of the initial stuff from like the radio traffic where he's like, everything seemed to be fine, and then it just, the rotor blades and basically the entire transmission assembly for the main rotors just detached from the helicopter.
Oh.
Which then the helicopter started wildly spinning because it only had the tail rotor, which sheared the tail rotor assembly clean off, and it just fell out of the sky. At this point in time, we don't know what caused it, but the initial theory was a phenomenon called mast bumping, which is really fucking difficult to explain.
Mm-hmm.
But it's most likely wasn't that, because this specific kind of helicopter, like, known for that not being a problem. And the like video of like how it was traveling seems like that was unlikely, because the mast bumping is something that really only happens if there's like doing some like negative G maneuvers or really low G maneuvers. It was apparently something Huey helicopters had a problem with in Vietnam.
It sounds like somebody loosened the parts, for lack of a better part, before they took off.
I don't know, because it's under investigation. Anyway, back to the administration's bullshit. Trump has demanded CBS lose its license over 60 minutes airing a special about the Russia-Ukraine war, where they interviewed Zelensky, and Zelensky was like had a very neutral tone on Trump. Keep in mind, Trump is already in a legal battle with 60 Minutes over them having an interview with Kamala Harris during the election.
Fucking idiot.
Because yeah, he's
The
going
press.
after media he doesn't like. Anyway, Mina.
Mhm.
Gura Gura.
Okay, so Guargura is a shark VTuber, very famous in the VTuber space. She's the one in. Hold on, I'm gonna go to images.
Isn't
think
she
I
the
should
one
know her.
who Russian Badger mentioned as like he was competing against with?
That's
Gamer
an
Game or
Orca
something?
VTuber.
Oh, I don't know.
That's
She's
shiny.
Wait, no,
this
no,
one.
I know the Waka.
don't
She's
know.
this one in images.
I've seen her once.
Oh, that one. Okay.
So, so she is she was Hololive English's most popular VTuber. Hololive is an agency that for VTubers, much like, you know, pop stars have their agencies, and at this point in time, Hololive is number one over VShojo, which is the one that has Iron Mouse, and Niji Sanji, which everybody hates.
Because of the previous stuff we talked about, VTubers.
Because the previous stuff we talked about with Selen Tatsuki, yes. Also known as Doki Bird. Doki Bird is doing really well now, by the way. So currently, Guargura has announced her graduation. For those not in the know with Japanese pop idol culture, graduation is a term that has been used back when teenagers had their idol groups, where they were graduating from high school, so they would graduate as well from being an idol, and they would move on to live, like, for the most part, pretty normal lives. Because VTubing is such a Japanese niche that has come to the United States and other countries, they have adopted the term of graduation as well when they leave their agencies. That is one of the two main exits for leaving an agency. You either are graduated or you are terminated. So Len Tatsuki was terminated, which means that her company, Niji Sanji, had entered her contract without her consult. Without her consult. Hey Ryu, we're talking about Guargura.
Oh, what about? I haven't actually watched anything, so I normally
I'm
I
just
try
giving-
to watch before joining.
It's okay. I'm just giving the quick rundown of what graduation is.
Oh, okay.
You sound so fucking dead.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm kinda hungry, so I'm
Hey.
gonna get myself some food. I'll be right back.
Granted, we
Okay.
did go to bed at like 4 in the morning.
No, I stayed up literally all night until Roomba, and right before Roomba, I crashed.
Oh, okay.
You should've
Why
gone to
were
bed
you up
before.
so late with your booze?
Well, I didn't drink booze. I drank. I got
He had
really
coffee.
high, and then I had coffee, and it made me stay up. Because normally coffee doesn't do anything, but if I'm high, it actually activates because of my ADHD.
I only had
so-
2 margaritas, but I was also at home, so I was allowed to. Thank you very much.
I was going to, but I was saving it for later today.
I'm sure Darius is over there thinking like, only 2 margaritas. Those are rookie numbers.
If I say what I've already done with Echo, I sort of go. But
It's
yeah,
not like I'm a
it's
huge
good.
lover of alcohol. It's just my mom and dad are like, "Do you want a beer?" And I don't like beer.
No.
The taste is just too
Okay,
bitter.
fair. Honestly,
Dude.
fair. It has
Especially
its own
since it's
bitter
American
taste.
beer.
Oh yeah.
No,
oh,
it's
Bud
Mexican beer.
Light. Oh, it's okay. Thank God.
We
But
have
Bud
a couple
Light is
German
bitter.
beers, but I didn't like that either.
Yep. Once again, fair. It has its own bitter
Yeah.
taste.
Tequila's not that great, but I made like a hibiscus simple syrup, right? So instead of just water and sugar, I made with hibiscus water or Jamaica as we call it.
That sounds actually tasty.
And it was very good. I put some triple sec in there and the tequila, very good.
Love me some triple sec.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
You good?
I'm slowly catching up.
Take your time, hun.
He's
So, yeah,
rebooting like my laptop, which has been restarting for the last hour.
But so yeah, graduation and termination are the two ways to end a contract. Last year we were talking about Doki Bird's termination from Niji Sanji, where they canceled her contract. This year we're talking about Guargura's graduation, which means that she and the company Hololive EN, whose parent company is it wasn't Any Color. Any Color is Niji Sanji.
I'm back with my bowl of cereals without
I
milk or
Don't
yogurt.
remember.
Hell yeah.
You eat your cereal with yogurt?
Yeah. Sometimes. Usually when there's
I should try that
strawberries
one
involved.
day.
I mean, I guess if
It's
it's
good.
I mean, I guess if it's like a granola.
I'm not
No,
calling you a
it's-
monster, but you are.
It's like the chocolate. It's like the chocolate flakes. Like the
Yeah, it's
chocolate
kind of
shell.
like those yogurt cereals that you get at the supermarket.
Oh no. I mean, yeah, sometimes, but no, just add yogurt and maybe strawberries.
Oh, yeah, that's why. No, that's why. We have like yogurt cups and they just have like a little container of cereal on top.
Oh yeah.
You just dump the cereal in the yogurt.
We also have those, but sometimes it's just funny to just add yogurt to your cereals.
See, the way
Once
you
again, I'm not-
describe it, the way you describe it,
describe-
you describe it horrendously. It's like you're adding yogurt instead of milk to a whole bowl of cereal.
Yeah, exactly.
Once again,
You're
I'm
horrendous.
not. I'm not calling you a monster, but you are.
No.
But it's tasty as fuck though. And if you had
like-
strawberries to the mix, it's even tastier because fucking fruit mixes
No,
well
no,
with it.
No. See, the way I'm picturing it in my head is fine, right? It's like a cup of yogurt with some cereal sprinkled on top, like granola. The way you describe it, you're pouring a whole tub of yogurt into a bowl of cereal.
Yes. That's not how
Oh
I'm
my
describing. That's how it
fucking
is.
God.
I hate you. Like, unironically, I hate you right now. Do not talk to me.
No, man, it's just milk plus.
I don't like milk.
Well,
Damn.
Yeah, but that's literally how I say it. Yeah, you grab a tub of yogurt, put it in a bowl, put some cereals, eat it.
No, that's not what I said. I'm saying you have a bowl of cereal already prepared and you're putting the yogurt on top of that
With milk?
instead of milk.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. You grab a bowl.
No, you dumbass.
You grab a bowl, you put yogurt, you put cereals in it. Like a normal
No,
bowl,
I'm
you
saying
use
you're
milk.
putting the
Gold
cereal
is a form of
first.
cereal.
It's very important to distinct. It's a
Oh,
very
yeah.
important distinction.
No, it's not. It doesn't
Yes,
matter.
it
is.
It's
Yes,
all
it
other
is.
fruit and cereals.
We all know that the order is cereal, then milk, then bowl.
Yeah.
No. The bowl
What
always.
the
The order
heck?
matters here, Jimmy.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
you put the dry ingredients first, then the wet ingredients.
No, I always put
Yes,
wet
you know
ingredients
how it
first.
You
Put
disgust me.
milk before your
Okay,
cereal?
bro.
Yeah,
Jimmy, it's
especially in winter,
Bro,
because
Jimmy-
that way you
Cancel
can
this
warm
man.
up.
Boy, it's
Chad,
all in-
cancel this
hold
man.
on, hold on.
Cancel
Hear me
this
out.
man.
Hear me out.
No,
No, I can't
refuse
hear
to
you
hear you
anymore.
out. I've heard so many hear you outs
You
hear me
are
outs on this. No,
absolutely
fuck
sick.
off.
I
Bailiff
put.
whack his pee-pee.
I put.
Hold on, I got you.
The only,
milk-
the
Jimmy?
only problem I've been willing to accept something like I do milk first is someone who likes to microwave their milk so
Bailiff.
it's warm.
Whack his pee-pee.
So yeah, exactly.
Damn
But
right.
it's cereal
Lost
too.
it.
No, see what I do in that case is I'll boil the milk in like a little, like a little like pan, like a saucepan, right? And you just pour that on top of your cereal.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah,
I did.
exactly. I just put milk in a bowl, put it in the microwave, put it in a minute, put it out, put some cereals, eat.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you have
Yeah,
lost it.
yeah. Here's the thing. That's insane.
Yeah, never put your milk before your cereal.
Why not?
It's wrong.
It-
It's wrong.
No. If you put
How
your,
is
Fundamentally,
What is the
it's wrong.
biggest
if
debate
you
we've
put
ever
your
had?
cereals before the milk,
It's wrong.
The milk is
Jimmy, you're
going
too
to
wrong.
out of
Toothpicks
the bowl, and
is
you're
the
going
most
to
serious
dirty the
thing,
table.
okay, Meep?
I'm sorry, but putting milk after cereals is wrong. You do not put the milk after the cereals, because then you'll get all the table dirty from the milk spilling out because it hits the cereals.
Bro,
Colossal
that's a
month-
skill issue.
What type of a
It's
fuck up
skill
are you to
issue.
get the dirt,
What?
the table cereal from spilling it? You're pouring the milk anyways.
It's straight up an aim skill issue there.
Yeah,
bro.
that's just a
sounds
you
like you're
problem.
pulling it from too high.
That's a you problem, bitch. That's not anyone
That
else's
is
issue.
insane.
That's
What am
a
I
you.
hearing right now?
What you're telling us
I'm-
is you're incompetent pouring milk
No,
into a
I'm
non-empty
not,
bowl.
though.
My jaw is agape and I'm blinking like a Toy Story character right now. I'm trying to process this.
Oh my god, Jimmy, bro.
Hi, Blake Hex. What's going on? These people are all wrong about putting cereals in milk.
This motherfucker puts his milk first.
Exactly. Because if you want to warm
You're
it
a
up,
devil.
it's easier. You don't warm up milk with cereals because the cereal then becomes soggy. And soggy cereals suck.
It depends on the cereal, honestly.
No, it doesn't. Soggy
Having
cereals
soggy
suck.
cereal is a skill issue. That's a time-based issue.
That is
Yeah,
time
that's-
That is
Hold on.
clearly on you.
That's
Jimmy, all I hear are just skill issues at this point.
yeah.
You're a skill issue.
How could you do this to me?
You could like get a mug and put your milk in that.
And waste
And then
another
pour
piece
it
of
on top.
cutlery? Seriously? In this economy?
Motherfucker, how long does it take you to wash a dish? You're gonna tell you so you don't wash your dishes because you drop it on the floor too?
No. Put it
Yeah.
in the dishwasher, but that's extra
Basically,
space.
set it in the
Mina, I
drying
live
thing.
with 4 other people. This is a family of 5.
But yeah, that is a good point. That is an unnecessary dirtying of an additional dish.
And
I just can't
from the
fathom it.
dishwasher, the first thing that gets filled is the part with the fucking balls and the fucking.
Then use a sponge, motherfucker.
I'm too lazy for that. I have other things to do.
It takes less than 2 minutes to wash your fucking bowl.
It takes like less than a minute to wash a bowl. Especially if it only had like cereal and milk in it.
Or in this case, only milk.
Hell, if it's literally only milk, you'll basically just have to rinse it out.
No, you can't just rinse out something that has had a liquid. in it.
Yeah, you
have
can't
to
just
clean
rinse it out. You can't. You gotta actually. Like literally, you could just put like a little bit of soap on it, wash it with like a paper towel if you don't have a sponge, rinse it, and then put it to dry. I'm incredulous.
Anyway,
Blasphemy
Jimmy's
on the-
not allowed in my kitchen anymore. I don't even trust you with cereal no more. I am
Blasphemy
betrayed.
on the day of the Lord.
For eel, he has risen for this shit.
Jimmy has been banished from the greater Los Angeles area. This has buying clothes from the soup store vibe. It kinda does. Ugh.
Anyways, girls' graduation. I never finished that.
Yeah,
Jimmy's going to
sorry.
die on that definitely.
It's okay.
By the way, Mina, I'm waiting for the next day starting.
I know, but I was in the middle of a thing, and then we got distracted because you can't fucking cook.
Yeah, you don't say. Mina, I'm a fail boy. I suck at everything.
Listen, I
Look,
love me a
I-
boy
look-
failure, but not like this.
Look, as bad as,
No.
as it might be a fail, nothing will top. There's a character in the book series I read who was so error prone. He tried to cook ramen and burnt down his house.
Oh, yeah.
You mean like
In
Yeah.
Ranma, one half, Akane tried to
friend of
make
mine.
cookies for Ranma, and she put fucking jalapenos in it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna talk about where she made animal cookies and
Oh
they
my
look
God.
nothing like it.
God, I love that thing
And
so
koala.
goddamn much. The voice actress popped off, and she did not need to go that hard, but she did. She did for all of us.
I
Anyways.
mean, like the person like got the pot of water, put it on the stove to boil. The stove immediately breaks and starts spewing fire everywhere, and he's like, "God damn it!" And then he just walks outside. He's just so done with this because this kind of bullshit happens so much. He's just done. He just leaves.
Just done with life, my man.
Like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Not Niji-Sanji, Gura.
Gura, yeah. So she's graduating from Hololive.
A lot of people are the big sad. Apparently
They are big sad. Gura is a very influential VTuber in the space. If you hear Shark VTuber, one of the first thoughts is going to be Gura. At least if you're familiar with the niche, because before any of you smartasses say, "Oh, I don't know any of them." She's graduating for disagreements with management. She didn't go too much into it. And honestly, if she doesn't want to share it, if it's not horrendous, if it's not Niji-Sanji levels of bad, then it doesn't need to.
There's normal levels of management bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a license issue that she probably wanted to do stuff specifically, and they wanted her to not do stuff specifically, kind of like how the
Jimmy, you
what's it
quit?
called?
No, I got kicked out.
Weird. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me send you an invite again.
Hold on, no.
Kind of like how the music video with the
No need to.
Niji-Sanji girl kind of messed with their whole contract. It could be a situation like that again.
Yeah, and that whole situation was stupid because Niji-Sanji literally just needed to okay the ex-livers being there because they had the copyright. They just didn't want to give it.
Right. For a project that
They had ownership.
I believe
of.
I believe she funded. Like it wasn't
she
really a
funded
part
it.
of Niji-Sanji's whole thing. It was just because of her brand that they were
Because she
upset.
wanted to do something nice for Christmas. But anyway, back to Gura. So yeah, she will be leaving. She's announced her graduation stream already. A lot of fans are sad. There's a lot of thank you Gura fan art right now.
Guard,
but it looks
that's the
like-
hashtag.
Yeah. It looks like she will be continuing on in her past life. Past life is, what they were known as before they got into an agency, or if they did something, if they were under a different username, and that's referred to as a past life.
That's good to hear. I hate
so
when
she intends
it's
to
like a
continue.
fully stopped kind of thing because of bad management.
Yeah.
Because
It's
these
also,
people do enjoy what they do, like genuinely.
How could you not? It's like it's a job. It's a dream job for a lot of people.
Yep.
What else was there? But yeah, it was really funny when she announced graduation because for the longest time people were just like, "Where's Gura?" Because she, like I said, she's very beloved in the VTube community. So when she's been on hiatus for a hot minute, so when she finally came back, she's like, "Hey, I'm graduating." Everybody's like, "No!"
God damn it.
God damn it.
I can't wait for the parrot video on it. For those not in the know, Parrot is the name of this guy who reads out VTuber 4chan posts, and he's very unhinged. I believe he's from Colombia, and you can tell from his voice.
About that.
Colombia.
In case anyone missed what is the biggest news of the week, 4chan got hacked. And is, from my understanding, is in
4chan
a
got shot.
non-functional state.
Yeah, I think the funniest part about that situation is that there were people from, I don't know if it was specifically Congress, but there were a whole bunch of government people who are a part of 4chan that
Yeah, apparently
have
they were just
been
moderating this shit.
raving
So
about it
from
being
my
upset.
understanding, there's a whole bunch of various things that have been thrown out. One of the things that was thrown out was a bunch of the moderators supposedly were using .gov email accounts, which means they were feds. But from my understanding, the only things that are actually properly confirmed and not just who knows, misinformation, disinformation, someone made something the fuck up, is it was hacked, and a rival image board that specializes in soy jack memes claimed responsibility, and claimed that it was easy to hack them because a lot of the infrastructure in the back end was from like 2012.
Yeah, I heard that as well. And I know that Tumblr, although they have had a long, heated rivalry with 4chan, is in mourning.
Yeah, because Tumblr is probably the people who first realized, like, whenever one of these sites dies, their population goes somewhere else. Where's all the 4chan people gonna go, Mansley?
Twitter!
It's because they matched each other's freak,
Damn right.
just on opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Hold on, I have a meme for this.
That's gonna be a problem, because from my understanding, 4chan is still in like a barely functional or non-functional state. Because they got pretty badly messed up by the hack, from my understanding.
I'm going to be hanging out with my friend Retinesis tomorrow, so I will be sure to ask her, because she was a frequent 4chaner.
Yeah. I won't touch that place, so I don't fucking know.
Me too. I wouldn't touch what
Here
I've never
is
been on the site.
Here is an artist rendition of Tumblr mourning over 4chan, a la the picture of that Ivan the Terrible painting where he just shot his son in the head.
The other thing my knowledge of Forge is limited whenever something from it like breaks containment to go around the beam circles on Discord. Like I saw one which was something like, so how's the economy doing? Meanwhile, on the 4chan stock market board, I'm growing corn. So yeah, that's how the economy is doing. Anyway. So yeah, that's truly the biggest news of the week is 4chan fucking died. they may be revived like Jesus, but who knows?
We're in danger.
On glorious day, Easter 420, 4chan rose from the grave.
I really wish they would, just because that'd be so fucking funny.
That would be funny. That would be funny for the bit.
They should commit to the bit.
Anyway.
They should, absolutely.
Anyway, now, Harvard University, the premier institution of higher education in the United States, is in a legal battle with the Trump administration. Because, of course they fucking are. Because the administration is like, we're gonna cut funding to Harvard for some of the stuff they support, for DEI nonsense or whatever. And Harvard's like, because they've been going around threatening universities as they do, and Harvard's like, no the fuck you aren't.
What's DEI
Harvard-
again?
It's a diversity.
Diversity, equity, basically anything that's like, basically a catch-all GOP term for not just hiring white people. Basically. But yeah, they've been going around intimidating universities, they've been going around intimidating law firms. Finally, Harvard's one who's big enough and has the balls to turn around and say, alright boy, you want to square up? Square up. Come on.
It is literally
I don't
full
want
of lawyers and shit.
No, they went and hired like 2 of like the top law firms in the entire country.
Let's fucking go. I found a diamond.
Yeah, let's go another one.
And it's just like, all right, boy, you want to throw hands? Let's throw hands. And the Trump administration spent like the entirety of like last week like doubling down on this nonsense. And I saw today they backed down, like the fucking cowards they are.
Let's go!
That's fucking good.
Let's go.
Fuck you,
Fucking-
trumpet man.
Exactly.
Toot toot to this,
So
bitch.
Spock and no, but
The second someone actually was prepared to square up to them, they backed down because fascists are fucking cowards.
Fascists will run wild if you let them. They're just like weeds that way.
Yeah,
Nobody
except
else
unlike
sees
weeds,
anything.
they're pretty hard. They're pretty easy to get to shut the fuck up. Anyway, in other news, Elon Musk's owned XAI is under investigation for the illegal operation of 35 gas turbine generators in Memphis.
Tennessee?
Yes. In Memphis, Tennessee, they have a facility where they were illegally operating 35 gas turbine generators.
That's funny. Why would they do
So they-
that, first of all? Second of all, it's kind of funny.
Because it's an AI facility that needs a fuck ton of power. So they're like, we're just gonna set up 35 gas turbines.
As one does.
Anyway.
Casual Thursday.
Yep.
In other news, there was an individual who had you have rare disease. How rare is it? Well, you get to pick the name.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, Ryud reposted this as well. Yeah, and apparently, the name he proposed for this rare disease is Ligma.
Oh no, it becomes real.
Ryu, do you have more details on this?
So the I'll pull it up for more specific for more specific details. But so they were researching this disease and finding out like all the traits of it to make it more definable, and realizing that it's nothing really like anything we've really discovered, or I guess
Did they describe
discovered.
any of the symptoms of the disease?
Uh,
Is this that shit that the SCP was talking about?
let's find out.
Robin. Where's Robin?
Here we go.
Maybe at the bar with his husband?
Can you check?
Oh, that's so funny. I didn't know this originally came from the H3 podcast.
Oh dear.
So, a fan of the H3 podcast asked Ethan Klein, the host of the podcast, to help him name his rare genetic condition after being approached by the National Institute of Health. His name is Typo, and he's explained that he's been ill for most of his life, but only been properly diagnosed after going to the hospital when he began to feel sick 5 years ago. After getting full blood workup, doctors said he had stage 4 cancer, but 8 biopsies, which is the little system that they have for identifying types of cancer, and several invasive surgeries later, it was actually determined that Typo was aging differently due to an issue with his telomeres.
Huh?
Yeah, that's the bit of the DNA that's on the end of the chromosomes that that slowly gets kind of like worn away over time through errors. It's mostly full of junk data. It's basically the sacrificial things at the end of the chromosomes. And is basically the ultimate limiter on how long a person could live. And I think it's even referenced as like the reason in like one of the Wolverine movies Wolverine eventually dies is because he eventually just wore those down all the way.
Ironically, I was almost getting to that part. So when you're born, your telomeres are long and they gradually shorten as you age. However, Typo's specific genetic structure, despite his being extremely short for him being in his early 30s, they keep dividing, despite having to be shorter at the time of, early 30s. Making sure it was early 30s. According to Typo, his cells need to either stop dividing or die. Those are the only two options. His is not doing that. It just keeps going.
It's like his whole body's decided it wants to be cancer.
A little bit. It's dividing in ways where it's not technically growing cancer cells. It's growing at a very odd rate.
Okay.
Whack.
It's you can almost call it like a weird mutation specifically for him with his chromosomes.
Weird.
Very.
And normally chromosome issues stem for small genetic issues like displacement of ears. Some people have, I guess especially for males, their Adam's apple actually either is completely shrunken or they become disfigured and normally end up getting disformed in a way where your voice actually becomes like a lot of if you guys know the Invader Zim voice actor, he's kind of like that, where his voice is
Richard
so
Horvitz?
unique. Yes, his voice is so unique because of specifically genetics with Adam apples,
Okay.
and that stems from specific chromosomes where for him it's not harmful, but it did shape his Adam's apple differently, which is why so many people have like specific unique voices that you're like, this is basically a cartoon character.
Well, that's because he does voice a cartoon character.
He does, but like he wasn't. He. It was kind of like he was born as a cartoon
born to be
character.
one.
Yeah. Some people can adjust to it. Some people can't. There was actually a story of a guy who would go around faking his voice, and for so long, him faking his voice actually made his normal voice worse. Because he was really straining himself to do like a deep voice all the time, and he was constantly talking. But he had like a Muppet voice. And so it caused like his voice to like constantly be sore and crack. And it made his it made his normal high-pitched voice kind of like permanently at a teenage voice. Because he kept straining it.
Damn.
Okay.
I mean, I just posted the Ligma disease. That's a different Ligma disease.
There's also two other names that they were joking around with it. It's Bofa, Shrek swamp disease, and I'm realizing that later in this, it's Benjamin Button cancer disease, or BBC.
Oh,
Jesus.
Why be? Oh my god.
Apparently, there's a different Ligma disease that's like a virus.
There's too much ligma in this.
I have
world.
no idea if this is absolutely serious or not. That's the one bad thing about this fucking name. You can't tell who's being serious and who's not.
Well, these are all joke names that the podcast was getting suggestions from. But he does have this disease, and he was contacted. Quote by him, "I feel like this is a dream the entire internet has been waiting for." Which, yeah. You know?
yeah.
We need more. Are these parsnips?
No, those are white seeds. We're gonna go buy strawberries though.
Okay, but we also need to buy parsnips because I need the golden ones.
Yeah.
So we got to get some fertilizer too.
Crafting. Scared.
I put a shit ton of carrots in the black chest right now.
I didn't get a chance to write it because I was researching things about it, but there was one more thing I wanted to talk about since it kind of came out recently.
Mm-hmm.
Let me double check the name of it because I have not dived too deep in. So Glitch has a new
New show.
yeah, and it's been hyped up for a while. It released yesterday. It is currently at 5.4 million views. It's called The Gaslight District.
I don't like that name.
It's like a post-apocalyptic story, and the animation has been. I've been seeing like trailers and like sneak peeks of people who have been working on it, and the animation has been really solid for it. And from reviews of people who have been in the animation world and art world, who have been like, okay, I've been waiting for this. It's been really split down the middle between the hype not living up to it and it being really praised as like a new thing in the indie animation space.
That mouse is here. Anyway.
Oh.
Who's here?
Also, Ryu, did you want to play with us? We're playing Stardew.
But we need to buy another.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We need to make another cabin for him though.
Yeah, so we'll do it after Egg Day, unfortunately. But it's Egg Day now.
Yep. I'm going to eat all this
I'd
seaweed.
love to.
I'm gonna eat all this seaweed and let's go grab some eggs. Wait for me.
So the episode 1 is just the pilot. It's a standard 30-minute pilot. It's 3D animated. I guess kind of with some CG aspects.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like Coraline meets Nine. If you guys have ever seen Nine, because it's a bit stop motiony, very
the Nine-
exaggerated.
But 9 was such a good movie, bro. If you mean that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the with the dolls stop motion thing. If I remember correctly.
Damn it, you spent most of the money I was saving for the thing.
I'm buying strawberries so we can get more money for melons in summer.
I know, but I also wanted to get the large pack.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I bought 60, so that should cover us for most of spring.
60, bitch!
Yeah.
You don't need that much. We're halfway through the spring already.
A quick description of the show, because I didn't actually get a chance to fully describe it. I'm going based off of the YouTube description. The Gaslight District is a gothic crime drama following an undead family who cheat, lie, and steal their way to survive a long world that has ended. Created by his tag is part-time sequel, but his name is Nick Zakpo. It's very hard to pronounce. I believe it's Russian. Zaxpo?
Sexpo.
They've been making this for, I believe, the past, 5 years. I mean, I believe he's been developing it since then, but, actually working on this project has been, a 5-year journey. And I personally have watched part of it and am excited for a new contender in the line of indie animation that can be consistent. Because Digital Circus is great and all, but that has been the only consistent indie animation thing that has been going out lately. Monkey Wrench hasn't done anything new lately. I believe there's been a pause for not has been what's the other one? Hell of a Boss. Hell of a Boss is on a pause for now. So seeing things get added to the list of things going on. Oh, Ross is in here.
And chat?
Let's see.
Oh,
no, in the YouTube comments. I was scrolling through YouTube comments trying to get a consistency of people who are actually commenting on the thing. On Twitter, it's very 50-50. People are either giving this a solid 10 out of 10 or being it's mid, it's not enough. Which I guess is kind of hard to say when the last pilot glitch released was Digital Circus.
To be fair, it's also Twitter.
That we lost another 1,000. It was at 3,000 the last time I opened.
I tried talking to Pierre and accidentally bought a plush bunny. That's on me. I'm sorry.
I want the bunny.
I have it. Don't worry. I have it. That's the one that I have.
Okay, I'm myself a banner.
Okay.
You spent all $9,000 we had.
I'm sorry. It was an accident. Okay.
Yuki spent all $9,000 on Genshin.
He spent all $9,000 on strawberry
damn.
seeds that we are not going to get through by the end of the spring.
Anyway. So,
Oh wow, they also have merch.
the next
I'm going to start
piece
the account.
of,
Yep.
bullshit from the idea box.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's up to now 3 separate advisors for the Secretary of Defense and Signal Gate perpetrator, Pete Hegseth, have been thrown out of the Pentagon by security for leaking information to the press. With the Trump administration reportedly has taken to spontaneously polygraphing its top advisors due to paranoia because of the amount of info being leaked to the press about all the illegal shit the administration is doing in basically every department. Which, can I just say, imagine being polygraphed on suspicion of leaking documents and stuff when your bosses were either in Signal Gate, or Mr. I stole a bunch of classified documents to keep in my bathroom.
I mean, let's be fair. You leak something to the press, and if it's about specific things, there's only like a handful of people who probably were on certain projects. You could narrow it down easily. I don't know why you would just be like, yeah, I'm gonna give this to you, and no one would know the wiser.
I mean, for something, but for some other stuff, it's like they have to dissipate so much information, it's kind of inevitable something's gonna happen. Anyway, moving on from just that nonsense of they're throwing chief advisors out of the Pentagon because they can't trust them. Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some nonsense occurring in Idaho. For context, the city of Boise, Idaho, the capital of Idaho, has their like city hall like 2 blocks away from the Capitol building, the state Capitol building, and the city of Boise likes to fly a pride flag outside of their building
Mm-hmm.
because they're cool like that. A lot of people in the state government really hate that. So, Idaho has passed a law. The state government passed a law banning the flying of non-approved flags inside or outside government buildings because they're dicks like that. The law was also given an emergency clause, meaning it went into effect as soon as it was signed.
Oh,
Meep?
Meep, you're dying.
me.
Oh shit.
Oh no. Oh no, not again.
The government has stopped him to speak.
They stopped him. Meep knows too much.
He knows too much, man.
Not again,
Jesus
god
Christ.
damn it. First the Russians, now the regular government. God damn it, Meep.
This is not
Yeah,
a
that
regular
would've been
government, I would
supposed.
like to clarify.
But
Yeah,
you
that
know what
would've
I
been
mean,
supposed.
though.
No.
The US government, yeah, I know.
Alright, that's all
you know
16
what?
stories.
Well, Meep,
It was nice knowing you. You were a
while
true
Meep
friend.
lives again.
Meep cheaty.
Has anybody checked out Enna Dream Barbecue? I haven't talked to
Carby
anyone
has.
about that.
Carby wanted to check
They,
it.
yeah, there's a new indie game. Well, it was started off as like a YouTube animation series, and then it made its game, and it's like a surreal dream type of game, and
Mhm.
it's very fun, very interesting, and it really makes you think. So, that's my last recommendation for things. I haven't watched anything new lately, so I can't do an anime recommendation. But if you end up having someone on like your YouTube who has played it, check it out. It is honestly a good game with great story, and I can't stop quoting it.
There you go.
allergic to people.
Me too.
Huh?
Okay. While
What do
we're
you
waiting
mean,
for
her?
Meep to come back, Ryu, are you done with your segment?
Ooh, there goes
Are you
me.
done with
I
your little
think
thing
that
right
was-
there?
Yeah.
Yep, that was
I
me.
check out Inna's Dream Barbecue, and I already forgot the name of the the animation. I'm not gonna lie. The Gaslight District.
Yeah.
By the
So
way,
it's all
Meep
yours, Mina.
is,
Okay, hold on. Shit. Jimmy,
Yeah?
I need you to put this on screen.
Okay.
we lost Meep. Oh no.
Come back. So I wanted to talk about for a second. The judge that yelled at the man who tried to, who didn't have a lawyer. Instead, he tried to. Also, you did posterity, right? Shit. That's why I tend to stop on the middle of. Never mind. I can't fucking go because Jimmy started the next day.
I'm sorry.
I could have paused it. Oops. Let me.
I need to add fucking Ryu too. But I need to make a. I was gonna make the cabin, but Jimmy spent all the money.
It's 500, you can still buy it, pretty sure.
We have shared funds.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Pretty sure you can still buy it.
with $800?
I'm pretty sure it's only 500. Look, the bunny was an accident. The strawberries weren't.
You didn't need that many strawberries.
Because they continuously grow.
Exactly. That's why I wanted that many.
You don't need that many strawberries.
Nope.
But you could get seeds out of the strawberry. Never mind.
No,
No.
you should. I can
Anyway.
usually save 1 or 2 strawberries.
You
for
don't
that.
need that many strawberries. The point is, I can't even read the article because I'm stuck in the day.
Then while that's going on,
But yeah, a judge was yelling at a man because he uh-oh. So Meep says he's gonna be a bit. So a judge yelled at a man because he was in court or whatever court proceeding. I can't read it right now. Oh, I'll let Jimmy tend to it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm on it.
I mean, I'm still mad at you, but still. Okay. A judge on the New York State Appeals Court was outraged after a plaintiff tried to use an AI-generated avatar as a lawyer instead of
yes.
hiring a prior proper fucking lawyer. The man didn't have a lawyer and hoped the AI avatar would deliver a polished argument. The judge was left unimpressed after a plaintiff attempted to use the AI-generated lawyer. 74-year-old Jerome DeWald got permission from the court to play a video for his defense, but he didn't specify that it was AI-generated. As soon as the video started playing, the associate judge, Sally Manzanet Daniels, intervened. And if you could play that clip, I would be greatly appreciated.
I love the actual like confusion she has at first, or he has at first.
You're playing it with sound, right?
Fuck.
We will
Just
hear
realized
that
something. Hold
video
on.
now.
One second. I need to do a couple things real quickly. Okay. There we
You
go.
are not going to use this courtroom as a launch for your business. The appellant has submitted a video for his argument. Okay, we will hear that video now.
May it please the court. I come here today a humble pro
Oh, hey,
se
my
Alright.
coffee's
panel
still
of
here.
5 distinguished
Is
justices.
Is this? Hold on. Is that counsel for the
Probably
case?
tastes like dirt, but hey, I'll take it.
I'm
There
sorry.
we go.
Dirty bean juice.
Not a real person.
Okay.
Oh,
it
actually,
would
it's
have
quite
been
pleasant.
nice to know that when you made
Yeah.
your application.
I think.
You did not tell me that, sir. I received the application.
Oh.
And you have appeared
You know,
before
right, you
this
was
court
sent
and
me a
been able to
thing.
testify verbally. In the past, you have gone to my clerk's office and held verbal conversations with our staff for over 30 minutes. Okay? I don't appreciate.
Oh, yeah, this is
being
has
misled.
nothing to do with anything about Roomba or
So
anything,
either
Nina.
you are suffering from an ailment that prevents you from being able to articulate.
As I was waiting for the coffee
or
to
you
pick
don't.
up after we
You are
hung
not
up, I
going
started
to
falling
use this
asleep.
courtroom as a
And for
launch
some
for
reason,
your business, sir.
I had a dream that I was
So if
talking to
you are
you,
able to
but in my
do-
dream, I only
Shut
called you
that off.
Maria, which I find it funny because I always call you
want
Mina.
to have
Yeah,
oral
you've never
argument
called me by
time,
my
you may
name,
stand
but
up and
No,
I also
but
don't
for
want
some
my name
reason,
on the stream.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was just so weird.
Yeah, but also, Jimmy, I still couldn't hear anything.
I have the
I
audio.
have everything unmuted.
You
I
are
didn't
not
hear it
going
on the
to
stream.
use
Did you
this
guys hear it?
courtroom.
I did hear it.
Okay, I guess as long as you guys heard it, that should be fine.
In
Okay.
theory, it should be audible, and I had to like make sure it was audible because I realized halfway through the first hearing that it was muted. Okay, now there we go. That's that. So what's next on the idea box, or is it something that me posted?
There's a lot in here. So yeah, Judge yelled at him because he basically what the argument that for the man was is that hold on, shit, I forgot to mute this shit again. I'm all disoriented. That's why I like pause the game when I try to talk. Essentially, he was like, "Oh, I'm here on an appeal because when I tried to deliver it myself, I guess they didn't really understand me or whatever the fuck, and I didn't want to get a lawyer or I couldn't afford a lawyer, something like that. So I decided to have the AI deliver my piece for me. But she was super upset about the non-disclosure of that this AI was supposed to be the lawyer. She just shut that down because he didn't disclose what was in the video. He's like, this is just evidence that will help me for my case. It's not evidence. It's not even a real human being.
Yeah.
This is not the first time that people have gotten in trouble using AI in the courts. Last year, we had lawyers who were admonished and probably going to have their license suspended because they used ChatGPT to write their statements, and the chat gave them a statement, but it was for a court case that never existed.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you double check things.
This is why you don't use AI for
this one.
Also that
the old guy,
shit.
He genuinely was like, when the judge was like, "What is that?" He was like, "It's my lawyer. What do you mean?
That's
why
not
don't you
a
understand?" Like, no, He's presenting my case right now. If you could just wait a minute.
Crazy, honestly.
And I just can't understand.
Now, when people typically use AI stuff, they normally do like a whole bunch of like procedures and stuff. Do you think he just did the very first thing? He typed it and was like, boom, whatever the first thing he says, that's going to be it. I'm going to be scot-free. I'm never going to have to go to court again.
Pretty
He
much.
thought he had the master plan, but it failed hard.
So now, and like the judge, I don't know if you can hear it in the clip.
She's fucking
I didn't get
angry.
to hear it. She's upset, but she is just like, you have wasted everybody's fucking time here. She is not holding back, as she shouldn't, you know.
Yeah.
I think people should stop it. And I think the worst part about it is that you can see so many like different ads on YouTube and such of, oh, you can use this AI instead of a lawyer. It's so much cheaper. It's you'll get the best results guaranteed for your case, and that's just not true. You can't guarantee that kind of shit.
Wait, that's an ad you guys are getting?
That's an ad I've been seeing around, yeah. And I'm like, no, you can't use AI as a lawyer. There are intricacies that a lawyer will be able to see. There are loopholes that a lawyer can see that AI just can't. But also, part of being a good lawyer is being, as shitty as it sounds, is being charismatic. It is being able to sell the jury or the judge your version of events and convince them that there's as few plot holes or holes in it as possible, so that you just don't get in trouble.
Yeah, there's this weird thing where people who specifically are like in major like legal trouble, they rather not rely on someone who can legitimately get them out of it. They rather just do the quick maths and be like, I'm just gonna have AI do this, and
it's like they don't
like
see
with that
lawyers...
guy, I'll go scot-free.
It's almost like they don't see lawyers as an investment.
Right? It's lawyers, they're gonna talk their way into giving me money. I don't have to pay anything unless I win the case. That's crazy. Oh my god. That's practically every lawyer's technique, and it's standard, you know? You can't really escape that. But legitimately, do you want to pay money when you lose? Or do you want to have someone who can genuinely have your back regardless of what the situation is?
Meep's back.
Meep's back.
We're back.
Welcome back.
Hey.
Yep.
I have
We-
returned.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Buck.
We just talked about the judge who yelled at the man who tried to use generative AI as a lawyer.
Cringe.
Very.
What was I talking about? I was talking about Idaho.
I think we were talking about Idaho.
Yeah, Idaho.
Yeah, then Idaho fucking silenced him.
I'm pretty sure my father forgot. I was doing Roomba and he uploaded a video,
Please check out Meep's dad's channel.
which just ate all the band.
Ironically, doesn't your dad have like 10,000 subscribers?
I don't know how many he has. I don't think he has that many.
It'd be funny if he did, though.
He has
Hold on, I
5
can check.
subscribers, and it's all me.
Anyways,
He has 3,334 3.34k subscribers.
On that grind.
That's
We'd love
pretty
to see
good.
it.
Anyway, so yeah, Idaho. Idaho state government passed a law banning non-approved flags in or outside government buildings being flown. Which was given an emergency clause, meaning it went into effect as soon as it was signed by the governor instead of the standard date where a new laws go into effect on. Which, take one guess what event is between now and then.
Elections?
I almost
No.
said 9/11. I'm not gonna lie. Legitimately, as a guess, I almost said that.
Nope.
okay.
What was the question? Sorry.
What event happens between now and when their new laws would normally go into effect? Take a guess what event is normally happens in that time period.
Pride Month.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh. My birthday. Let's go.
Yeah. And also, as I mentioned, the city of Boise, which is the state capital, their city hall likes to fly a pride flag out front, and so it's also apparently when they were like arguing for the bill, that was basically the only example of this that they ever brought up.
City. What an interesting name.
In fact, it was either that or other buildings in Boise was the only examples they ever brought up of this. So it's very clearly it was targeting Boise. So the law went into effect.
Oh, it's salmonberry season.
Oh, yeah, true.
So they put the law into effect, and Boise City Hall continued to fly the pride flag. Just 2 blocks from the state capitol, both because they want to, and 2 because the city officials aptly observed the lawmakers completely forgot to include any form of enforcement or penalty in the law.
What are they gonna do? Sue me?
Yeah, it's literally it's a law who's like basically is please obey. We have
Please clap.
we have no method to enforce this. Yeah, and another thing, one of the media reporting on this pointed out is one of the things that the law specified is other countries' flags can only be flown for special events.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
But what about embassies?
I guess that would count.
There
Those would be approved.
There
I
aren't
think.
embassies in Idaho. But,
Okay,
one
sorry,
thing that was
just
specifically
There ain't shit in Idaho, to be quite honest with you.
potatoes.
You can grow those anywhere. I've grown a couple in my yard.
Don't need fucking
But
Idaho
the main
potatoes,
thing
alright?
that the news agency was pointing out is that a lot of the towns and border cities of in northern Idaho like to fly Canadian flags all year as to like welcome Canadians.
Show of good faith.
Yeah. So
But there's no more good faith.
Yeah. But technically the law has banned that since it specifies only for special events, and flying them every day isn't a very special event now, is it?
Every day that you're alive is a special event because you made it another day, chat. Never forget.
Yep. Yeah. The colossal squid, Mina?
So yes, if when Jimmy has a chance, if he could put that on screen, I'd appreciate that. Woo, salmon berries.
I don't.
So here we
I don't
have-
like that.
This is a juvenile. This is the first time that the colossal squid has ever been filmed in its natural habitat. So this is exciting as hell. I love living through scientific events. As that's not gonna kill me.
Wait, do you want me to put
A
it
lot
with
of-
audio or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no audio on this one. We can just keep.
Okay. There we go.
So for those who are not in the know, a colossal squid has mostly been found deceased or dying on the surface, which is where most deep sea squid go when they're dying. Or a fish will rise to the surface when they're close to death. For whatever reason, they just can't withstand the pressures anymore. They get disoriented. They are found at a range from 20 to 2,000 meters below the sea, which is about 66 feet to 6,562 feet below the surface.
Mm-hmm.
They are either the largest or the second largest invertebrate in the world, but they're kind of tied with the giant squid. They have the largest eyes of any animals in the world. They're about the size of the average dinner plate. They are circumpolar, which means they're mostly found around. Let's see, what was it? Mainly found south of the Antarctic convergence, but some can go as far north as New Zealand, which means they typically stay around the poles. Along with the giant squid, the colossal squid has been depicted as a monster in literature, so they're both the inspiration of the Kraken. Welcome to the game, Ryu.
Hello, Ryu.
Famous example of the origin of a lot of sea monsters being whale penises.
Mm-hmm.
What?
That and the squids. Oh yeah. So when whales breach, sometimes they let their peepees fly, and they're like little tentacles. Think of like the Homestuck peepees, and a bulge, if you will.
Just to
So it's like
clarify,
that.
I've never watched Homestuck.
You've never read Homestuck, and you're probably better off for it.
Maybe not. Who knows? I don't.
I didn't talk about that on Roomba last Sunday because I was there. I went to Anaheim for the Homestuck event since me and a group of friends, we had a semi-popular voice acting channel for Homestuck. Very fun. I do miss it. But yeah, colossal squids have never been really filmed in their natural habitats, which is, you know, a depth of crushing depths.
Yeah.
It looks like they're completely transparent as juveniles, which helps helps a lot with deep sea creatures. A lot of deep sea creatures, they're either transparent so that they blend in completely with the dark, or they have black skin.
Yeah.
If they have the black skin, they're a lot less picked up by any bioluminescence animals, and if they're transparent, they're for the most part protected from like red bioluminescence. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole spectrum.
Yes. But because it lives in such a vast area of the ocean and the depths not often visited by people, except for, you know, Titanic Sinclair or whatever the fuck his name was, we only have seen a couple. We don't know exactly if they're endangered or not. Right now they're listed as a species of least concern, but they're the most interested in finding out what the fuck is their deal, you know?
Yeah.
We need more what's the name of the fucking thing? We need more parsnips.
Right.
I have some because I spawned with some.
Oh, true.
We need golden parsnips.
Well, we'll get there.
I got some speed grow.
Cool.
Okay, then I'll give you my seeds.
No, you can just put it down. I'll put the speed grow on top.
Well, that's what I mean.
I'm grabbing some
Yeah, yeah.
berries. Maybe I'll get level foraging or not. I have 14 already.
Give me a sec.
I
I'm
also got
taking
some
care
melons.
of
Melons?
I got the
getting to
melon
know
seeds.
everybody.
Well, we have a start for summer then.
There we go. Okay, I'm heading
I
back.
need to catch some lake fish. I need some ocean fish.
I'll take care of the lake fish then. Don't worry.
Oh, let me get a fishing rod. Can I do that day one? Since I'm technically on day
Maybe?
15.
There's a fishing rod in one of the chests. But it's
Oh,
the
never
bamboo-
mind. I'm
That was
getting the
my fishing
cutscene.
rod.
Yeah, I'm good. I got the cutscene for the fishing rod.
Okay.
Cool.
I think we also have a gold bar, Mina?
Hmm?
I think we also have a gold bar.
We have a couple bars. I made a couple.
Yubi?
I need one more bar of copper because I just put it into the to try and get the minecart going back again.
Yeah, good idea.
Alright.
Anyway,
Bar.
next up.
Next up, Boeing.
Oh boy.
My favorite disaster.
Boeing has had
I
to
thought I
issue
was your favorite disaster.
a call
You're not a
On
disaster to me.
over 2,600 planes.
That's a lot. What
Yeah.
happened?
They need to have the latches for their bathroom doors replaced due to an incident where someone got stuck in the bathroom of one of the planes and couldn't get out.
And
Oh,
those
I hope it
bathrooms are
was my
so
ex.
fucking claustrophobic.
Are they
It's not that,
alive?
but well, yes, they're fine. The
Getting
plane,
locked into a bathroom is not gonna kill you, dude.
yeah, the plane
I don't know.
diverted to a nearby airport, landed, and they got some people aboard to get the person out of the bathroom. So they were able to get out, but it was the whole fact someone could get stuck in there is a big safety concern, so they need to go and replace all the doors that use that door latch need to have the door latch replaced.
Mm-hmm.
So relatively minor goof, but you know, fair enough. It's still expensive because it's airplanes.
Really? Nothing?
You know the news? The Pentagon's Defense Digital Services Department is basically gonna cease to be by the end of the month because the entire staff is resigning via Doge's deferred resignation scheme because all the Doge changes have basically made the department, quote, non-mission capable. And everyone's like, fuck this shit, I'm out of here.
Ooh,
I
fuck
don't
this
blame
shit,
them.
I'm out. Okay, don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Taxi, please.
Hey, I sung that earlier or yesterday. I don't remember.
It's just the Pentagon's like digital defense department's like, yeah, no, we can't do our job, so we're just gonna leave, and they're not getting replaced because Doge. Well done,
It's
Doge.
amazing how people keep looking at these two and saying they're so wonderful. You just don't get it. They are actively
the
dismantling a
country.
country in the course of 3 months.
Speaking of Doge dismantling things,
4 months,
They've
sorry.
gutted-
They've
the America Corps Volunteer Program.
Huh?
They've sent thousands of volunteers home early
How do you do that?
because Doge. Because they work in like disaster relief and stuff, and Doge thinks that's inefficient.
They really are
It's like,
just
How are you
tarnishing this
saving
poor
money?
dog's name.
they're volunteers. Volunteers don't get paid.
They're
like
here
maybe
for the
they
love of the
give, like-
game.
Like maybe they're giving them like room and board when they're like sent to go do something, but like that's about it. It's like, bruh. You know the news? The U.S. Department of Transportation has pulled funding for Texas high-speed rail.
Not the trains.
Yeah,
The meep on the car, we were both upsetty Rossetti.
I assume they've also pulled it for the California one, but that's not a surprise. Anyway. We next have Common British L.
Damn, what happened?
The British Supreme Court unanimously ruled that specifically in equality legislation, the legal definition of woman excludes trans women.
Cringe.
Imagine thinking trans women aren't women. Could not be me.
It's in the name.
It's in the name.
You know who is absolutely celebrating this decision?
J.K. Rowling's.
Yup.
Oh, is that where that tweet came from? Okay.
Yeah. You were wondering why they were telling her to shut up?
Yeah, last night my Twitter is just full of like art stuff, animation stuff, and just randomly in between all of that, it was just someone I don't follow, no one retweeted it. It just popped up on my
Yeah.
thing. It just said, "Can J.K. Rowling shut the fuck up?" And I was like, "What? Where'd that come? Who are you?"
Who are
Yeah,
you
no, Twitter's
people?
just like that. I've just accepted that at this point.
Who are you people?
And like no one else on my timeline was talking about it, so I had no idea what it was about.
Yeah. It's supposed to be something specifically about like single gender spaces, like changing rooms or something. It's like, huh?
Oh, kind of like
Rapists get more leeway than
Yeah.
trans people. It's
I saw something. I shared it with like Mina server or whatever.
Oh
It's
wait, everybody
why,
already
why
speaking?
would rapists pretend to be trans people when in modern society
Okay, no one else
rapists
is
get
sleeping.
treated better by the law? Let's be real.
Shit. Come on, guys, be realistic.
One of the first things the second Trump administration did is bring fucking what's his face home from Romania.
Andrew Tate.
Yeah,
Tate.
Andrew Tate. Yeah.
Oh, he's
Like,
back?
first
I thought he
thing
was
they
still
did.
there.
Yeah, no, they brought him back from Romania.
And you know what? He's still as ugly as ever.
Yeah, right.
Does he have like a micro penis?
Probably.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I've never seen his penis willingly.
Anyway, next up, we have some more whistleblowers saying Doge is doing some sus shit again. So in other news, it is another day of the week. This time it was from the National Labor Relations Board, who claimed Doge basically kicked down the door to the LMRB headquarters, went into the servers, and sent huge quantities of sensitive information, potentially including things related to unions, unionization, ongoing legal cases, and corporate secrets, out of the agency's servers. You know, data which has nothing to do with Doge's actual mission.
Mm-hmm.
Cookies. Thanks,
The
Mom.
Doge operatives also reportedly went out of their way to try and scrub their tracks in a way cybersecurity experts say is similar to what you'd expect from a criminal or state-sponsored hackers. This whole nonsense was then reportedly promptly followed by suspicious login attempts from Russian IP addresses.
Oh, my thing got messed up.
But yeah, so Doge, Elon Musk sent his minions into the National Labor Relations Board and basically dumped their servers on all the unionization efforts currently ongoing.
Hear me now.
Hold on one second.
Presumably,
Seems
all
right
the Tesla workers and SpaceX workers and everything who are trying to unionize are probably all going to get fired for no particular reason at all. Like, because of course, one of the few advantages Tesla has in the U.S. auto
Where are
market
your
is
parsnips?
the only U.S. automaker which isn't unionized.
Oh, oops.
And obviously, Elon Musk has a vested interest in keeping it that way. So he's definitely doesn't have a conflict of interest as he sends his minions into the National Labor Relations Board and dumps their servers of all the information on people trying to unionize. Which he's also likely going to send to all his billionaire buddies so they can retaliate against people trying to unionize in their companies. Because it's a fucking mafia state now, I guess.
Yay!
In other news, we have Luigi news.
Oh, yeah, Mario Kart.
Wrong
Luigi Mangione's legal team has filed a motion to specifically preclude the government from seeking the death penalty, citing that the Attorney General has very publicly stated they are seeking it for purely political reasons, and the Attorney General also claims the Attorney General is prejudicing any potential grand jury against Luigi with her statements. Because, yeah, the Attorney General is basically just treating him as assumed guilty.
I'm not saying that's fair to what she's doing. I'm saying that's fair of her, of them to ask for.
Yeah.
Because that is contrary to...
it's
Contrast of interest? Is that how it's
Conflict.
Conflict.
also-
Conflict. There we
it's-
go. My brain is still not working.
She's explicitly stated political reasons for wanting to seek the death penalty. And also the fact that, you know, the US, you have a constitutional right to innocence until proven guilty, and she is flagrantly ignoring that. So, you know, hopefully it just gets basically thrown out on just basically mistrial on the government's part. Anyway.
What would happen if
another-
it was a mistrial?
It will just be extended for.
Well, either mistrial or it gets thrown out for basically the government's misconduct.
Huh.
Because the government's misconduct is extensive. I believe it was, by the way, one of the founding fathers who said, "I'd rather 100 guilty men go free than one innocent man rot in a cell," or something to that effect.
I've got to talk to the wizard because I can't read the language.
Anyway,
I've
CNN,
updated my ask so I can get rid of those thingies.
Okay.
American
I think we
Media
need
Company
steel for that one, by the way.
has announced their quote
For the trumps or the logs?
The big
special.
logs.
Okay, but we can get rid of some of the stuff with the copper one. But also, we don't have steel. It's iron.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's called steel on the game, even though there are iron bars. I don't get it either.
Oh no, I don't have where I could see people's locations on. Oh no.
So anyway, CNN
I'm at the beach.
announced a
I'm at the river.
special on misinformation.
I mean NPC, sorry.
That they're gonna run soon PM. And they're including in the special both the January 6th insurrection and supporters of Luigi Mangione as extremists.
Bruh.
With I saw at least one of the independent media like personalities who was like reporting on this saying like, yeah, I was there at like the protest where they were like grabbing sound bites for this thing related to Luigi supporters. It's like I overheard like what the person was asking people, and he was asking them like one leading question. Very clear, they were looking for sound bites rather than like actual like news coverage because corpo media. So,
Yes.
Shit.
so we mentioned how Mina mentioned likes living in, you know, cool science times. Well, I'm pulling up potentially the coolest of science times to have occurred in the history of potentially ever.
Oh?
Yes.
I'm listening. What's up?
Go ahead.
Older than Ligma? Don't believe it.
Astronomers have been analyzing data as they do on exoplanets, and specifically on an exoplanet named K218b. The authors of a study say that they have detected what they call, quote, I'm quoting the article, the most promising signs to date of possible biosignatures or signs of past or present life linked to biological activity on an exoplanet.
Which means it's more than bacteria!
Well, no, it's probably might be bacteria, but it's specifically the strongest evidence that they say it's the strongest evidence that's ever been found of signs of life on an exoplanet. It's specifically they've identified the strong likelihood of the presence of dimethyl sulfide on this planet. And on Earth, at least, the only known source of these molecules are phytoplankton.
Huh?
Phytoplankton are small creatures that float around in the ocean, and they are responsible for most of the oxygen that we breathe.
Well, that's pretty neat.
You know what? That is almost as cool as the new color.
The planet, located 124 light years from Earth, is theorized to be a Hycean world, which is it's an ocean planet. That is within the star's habitable zone with liquid water, and they've identified notable levels of this compound in the atmosphere, which the only known source of this compound is biological life.
So it's exciting either way, because if it is biological life, holy shit, we found biological life on another planet. If it isn't, holy shit, we found a brand new way of getting this signature, which has never been seen on Earth before.
Just fucking cool.
It's very
It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
We might find aliens soon. Actual aliens.
They do caution. They acknowledge that more data is needed before claiming flat out that we found it, but it's very likely. Is basically what they're saying.
It's more than a non-zero chance. There is at least 20% chance this is life.
At the very least, we did find something.
We found something that the only way we know this to happen is life, but that doesn't mean that's necessarily the only way.
Yes, it could be that there is a sign of life as in a completely different form that we've never seen. You know, life as we know it could just not be what that is.
It's strong evidence, but it is only one point of evidence, basically. So, but yeah, if that's true, that is fucking pog right there. Potentially found legitimate extraterrestrial life, which is dope as shit.
And it doesn't look like it's. It doesn't feel like it's colonizable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, fair. Actually.
Well, we wouldn't have the technology to go there anyway at this point. We don't have that technology.
Capitalism has a surprising way of surviving for long periods of time. I do not doubt that would still be an issue if we in the far future.
Especially if I remember right, it's like a super Earth, so it has like double the gravity of Earth. So, yeah, the technology's not there to like inhabit that planet anyway. But yeah,
that it's around it all is really cool.
Yeah, moving from fucking pog to fucking cringe. There was a mass shooting at Florida State University this week.
Oh my god.
How do you think we feel? We lived through this shit.
Yeah, and apparently, from my understanding, for a brief moment, like all the freaking MAGA crowd tried to like blame immigrants, and then it was this guy was a MAGA guy. Like the guy who did this was like hardcore.
That's all. That's y'all's boy. Y'all don't get to not claim him, the way that you say we can't claim, or we can't unclaim anyone else.
Yeah,
that's a
it's
new
like
problem.
Someone like who like knew the guy was like, yeah, I knew him. Well, did like a political debate club where like the only rule was like no Nazi shit, and he got kicked out for breaking the one rule. So like,
okay, so complete fascist. Okay.
Yeah.
Complete fucking moron.
Fucking asshat is who this guy was. Well, is because he survived. He got shot, but he survived and is in a hospital and is refusing to cooperate with the authorities.
I
And
hope he
because he survived. There's gonna be.
Yeah.
Because he survived, I don't doubt that there are people who are saying, "Oh, he was a fighter" or some fucking shit like that. If he died, he'd be a martyr. If now that he's alive, he's still a martyr. There's no winning with these people.
He apparently this was done with his mother's weapon, which was his mother's former service weapon because his mother was apparently like a sheriff or something. He like bought her old service weapon when she retired, and he used it to do this bullshit. He reportedly killed 2 people because he's a fucking asshat like that.
People like that like others, people suffering the way they think they do. I
Yeah.
say they think they do because a lot of the problems are in their own head. If they would pull their head out of their ass, they would see it smells a lot nicer out here.
Sorry.
Boy, you live in Florida.
You live in swampland.
You're in like MAGA heaven.
Yeah.
If you're not happy, that is a symptom of what the fuck you got going on over there.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway. You know the news? The Trump administration has denied FEMA aid to Washington State, as well as North Carolina.
Cringe.
Yeah, especially during the presidential campaign, he was complaining that Biden wasn't giving North Carolina FEMA aid.
So he was doing the
This is
thing that...
literally
must be hot.
trying to get North Carolina's asked for like more FEMA aid for this event for like the hurricanes previously that like Trump was complaining that Biden wasn't giving the money for it, and then he's like, no, we're not gonna give you money. Fuck you.
Get bent. Loser.
I used you for political gain, I don't need you anymore. I don't
I don't want to
fuck
play
Chuck
with you
nuts.
anymore.
I don't want to play with you.
A lawsuit alleges that Tesla is artificially accelerating its odometers to void its warranties early,
Nice.
which is super fucking illegal. Like messing with odometers is like super fucking illegal, and apparently Tesla, so according to the lawsuit, allegedly, Tesla was having its odometers run faster to reach the end of warranty faster. It's like the person alleges they got a new Tesla. They bought a used Tesla that was still under its warranty, and they started driving, and the rate the odometer went up was much faster than their old vehicle. And then, as soon as it crossed over the point where the warranty expired, all of a sudden, by not changing his routine, he started driving a lot less miles. For some reason. According to his Tesla. So, sus.
Very much.
I-
Every day, the comparison of Elon Musk to that Danny DeVito character in Matilda is more and more accurate, and that's really fucking funny.
A judge has ruled that Google runs an illegal advertising monopoly. This is the second antitrust lawsuit Google has lost in like the last year.
Damn.
That's not the Russian one, is it?
No,
Where
no.
Russia's trying to sue for like.
More money
Oh,
than exists.
Do you have?
Yes.
No, this is the U.S. antitrust law.
Okay.
Versus Russia just find them more money than exists because they like refuse to say the Russian narrative or whatever. Anyway.
I got a cutscene of Demetrius. Okay.
No,
Stardew Valley bitches.
Yeah?
Hold on. Do we want mushrooms or fruit or bats?
Mushrooms,
Mushrooms.
because
Sure.
it makes it easier to fill the thingy.
Sounds good to me.
But we also get fruits from the bats.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess so.
So I'm not partial for either one. I've done both. Both are pretty pog.
Let's go bats
Which one do
then,
y'all
because
wanna
I
do?
haven't done bats.
All right, we'll do bats.
Yeah, I have no preference.
Oh.
In other news, the European Union is reportedly putting a new regulation to heavily restrict the use of carbon fiber in cars.
So where is the parsnips again?
Wait, isn't the
over
ground
here.
already watered?
That's me. Ignore that. Pretend that that's we already did that. Ignore that.
Oh, Ryu
Don't
has
pay
a mod
attention.
that lets it auto water,
Oh,
which is really nice.
okay.
Yeah, the EU is apparently restricting the use of carbon fiber in cars because they've realized a lot of carbon fiber built cars are reaching end of life, and they realized, damn, carbon fiber is a bitch to dispose of. So they're
Ryu!
restricting its use because it's really hard to like manage the waste when cars reach
Eh?
end of life.
Where did you put the parsnips?
Is by my house. Just look for a big stump and a whole bunch of messed up flooring.
Shit, you need to add it before planting. God damn it.
Well,
Who
you can
wanted
add
to
it.
cover the
Don't
Carl
go worry.
Jobs the Carl Jobs lawsuit? Who wanted to cover that?
That was Carby.
I was gonna cover it for Carby, but Carby knows a little bit more about it than I do because I have not heard of the drama itself. I just know of it.
Hold on.
Carby's written it in there for someone to cover, right?
Yes, we can leave that for Carby to cover.
Well, because Carby specifically said they weren't going to be here to cover it because they just weren't. Yeah. Yeah, Carby wrote out a big thing, so if someone wants to read that out.
Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up.
If you want me, Mina can buy. Oh wait, no, it's Wednesday. Pierce is closed. I mean, I could go to JoJo's.
Okay. It says, according to Carby, Carl Jobst is the Australian YouTuber who was sued by Billy Mitchell, the Donkey Kong cheater, for a YouTube video that he claimed was defamatory. For legal reasons, I will be saying allegedly. The alleged Donkey Kong cheater. The content in question was discussing his cheating, his alleged cheating, and a history of his lawsuits. One of the lawsuits involving YouTuber Apollo legend Ben Smith, henceforth referred to as Apollo or Apollo Legend. To quote Carl, he said, he also sued YouTuber Apollo Legend for $1 million. I haven't spoken about this publicly, but this lawsuit ultimately ended with Apollo giving in and settling with Mitchell. He was forced to remove all of his videos about Mitchell's alleged cheating and paid him a large sum of money. This left him deeply in debt, which required him to find extra work. But with his ongoing health issues, this is all too much of a burden, and he ultimately took his own life. Not that Billy Mitchell would ever care, though. In fact, when Billy Mitchell thought he died earlier, he expressed joy at the thought. Jimmy, you can go ahead and put that screenshot up on the, Wait. What are you doing with the Earth Crystal? I already donated one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The hell?
Oh, no, that's a different thing.
Oh, wait, no.
Yeah,
I put the Earth
That's
Crystal
the
in
sandstone.
No. I put the Earth Crystal in the thing with the little dudes, the Junimos.
Did you
Oh,
go to
okay,
the
okay.
mines, Carby? Not Carby, Ryu?
Yeah, that's all I did yesterday.
Mina, you could give him the sword.
I could. I was going through the mine as well.
Okay,
I have a sword.
Yeah, but we have Neptune's glaive.
Oh,
Anyway.
that's fine.
So yeah, Jimmy's gonna put up that screenshot if he hasn't already. He goes on to discuss how it was frivolous.
It's in the idea box?
It's in the idea box.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, Carby attached it with her message.
Goes on to discuss how it was frivolous and Pablo would have won, but his health issues and depression made it hard, so he settled. The comment was retracted by Jobst and only stated the retraction at the end of a single Dark Souls video to appease the Mitchell lawyers. It was retracted due to them seeing that as Jobst blaming Mitchell for Apollo taking his own life. Carl claims in the I Lost video that it was merely him stating what had happened and the series of stressors, but still complied to keep the peace before the lawsuit. Jobst would lose the suit due to, in Jobst's words, Mitchell being seen as a credible witness and comments not linking to Jobst, saying that Mitchell was responsible for the death. On top of that, it was also allegedly because Carl took words from sources saying Apollo had paid Mitchell, a statement that the brother of Apollo said never happened. Jobst opened a GoFundMe to get money for the lawsuit, which people who see that he lost have claimed to be deceptive in his advertisement. It was claimed to be unclear as to what the GoFundMe was for, and only know that it was about the lawsuit. It was for the lawsuit about cheating. Carby you can see that she got more emotional as this went on because this is becoming a little harder to read. According to Jobst, the lawsuit was about the whole video, and he stated it once in a video and never again to be safe. Many comments and people say that it was never clear it was about anything but the cheating and feel deceived about the GoFundMe's goals, especially since he claims that he stopped asking for money after Mitchell dropped the other two claims. On top of that, many feel like Carl was never clear on what the suit was about and do not believe he's taking responsibility for his faults, with the like to dislike ratio of his I Lost video being 25k to 8.5k dislikes. I don't know if that means 25k likes to
Yeah,
8.5k dislikes.
35,000 likes to 8.5,000 dislikes.
That's still less than majority. Oh well.
I don't know.
I'm on the side that thinks he did a good job explaining himself, but I'm feeling emotional and people are just hating on him and being overly harsh, so I don't think this could do his justice. So that's what that's like.
Shit sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It really does, yeah.
In other news, a Northrop Grumman solid rocket motor production facility in Utah exploded.
Wait, what?
I'm so sorry. Oh my god, the whiplash. Oh, that hit me like fucking
By
whiplash.
the way, it fucking exploded.
A Northrop Grumman facility in Utah, which produced solid rocket motors and solid rocket motor components for both civilian and military rocketry, including intercontinental ballistic missiles, exploded. No casualties were reported, but the facility is a write-off as basically all the walls just got blown out. The cause of the explosion is under investigation. But, you know, it does produce military rocketry, so it's a bit, you know, suspicious. Given the other known instances of Western military facilities combusting recently under suspicious situations.
Mm-hmm.
In other news, Mina, YouTube has voice comments, triple question mark.
Okay, so I was watching a Bose versus the World video because I love my true crime. I love my girl. And I was going through the comments as I typically do on a YouTube video because I think some people have really good insight. I think some people have pretty good, what's it called? Pattern recognition, and sometimes they're just really fucking funny.
Oh yeah, I've seen some really funny YouTube comment section bits.
Yeah. So then as I'm going through this true crime video, I am reading a comment and I have to stop because this is what I see. And I'm like, the fuck is that? So I play it and it's Bose's voice. The fuck is that? I have never seen a YouTube comment reply in the form of a voice note.
That is also the first time I've seen
that
it.
says, this is my first time seeing an audio reply. I don't know how to feel about this.
I don't know how to feel about it either.
So wait a minute, is your YouTube using Comic Sans?
No, it's using something else. I don't remember what it's called. But it's just a default Samsung font.
Whack.
Whack. Bailey,
I like how it
pee-pee.
looks scribbly. Hold on. Where the fuck is it?
Bailiff, whack his pee-pee.
There we go.
Yes.
I love that every time I use it, that's just reuse response.
Because I can't do it. I love it.
Bailiff, whack his pee-pee.
Bailiff, whack his pee. We have to make sure you never come around again. Bailiff, whack his pee-pee.
What is that from?
What is that from?
It's a Judge Judy meme. I have the
Gotcha.
whole video, and that's it. I don't think there's context to what the thing is. It's just supposed to be a reaction video. To make sure you never come around here again, Bailiff, whack his pee-pee. And then there's a whip sound.
Oh no! No! Ah.
Anyway,
Get bent.
next.
I've got a feeling.
Mango Mussolini, his administration has reportedly told the British government to repeal their hate speech laws that protect LGBTQ people, or they're gonna put the tariffs back on.
Fuck you.
Cringe.
That's all. I believe that's the best response.
They've already said trans women aren't women.
Ah, fucking god.
I posted the video and images
the
for
US
anybody who wants all of it.
is reportedly considering pulling funding from NATO because let's go Russia, I fucking guess.
We used to hate Russia with a passion.
Some of us still do.
Back in my day.
The Trump administration has shuttered the Counter Foreign Disinformation Center as, quote, a threat to our democracy.
And by that, he means a threat to his dictatorship.
Yeah, because apparently MAGA talking heads have long accused it of censoring the American right. I'd like to remind people that previously we talked about a bunch of like MAGA talking heads got exposed for being illegally funded by the Russians. Previously covered. Ed Martin, Trump's nomination for the U.S. Attorney in D.C. During his confirmation hearing, failed to disclose over 150 appearances on Russian state media.
150.
Over 150 appearances on Russian state media. Just failed to mention that, no big deal.
Not a big deal, man.
Next up, we have a state of how are things going in the Republican Party? We have a quote from Alaska State Senator, Alaska Senator in the U.S. Senate, who is a Republican, Lisa Mukowski. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, she has this quote. It's in the idea. Mukowski.
Where do you have it? There's so much in here that I don't know where you would put it.
Sure, lots of shit in the idea box this week. Sorry. The quote is, quote. She said this during a town hall event. She was asked a question, and she said this as a response. Quote. I'm oftentimes very anxious myself about using my voice because retaliation is very real and that's not right. So yeah,
they immediately retaliated against her.
Presumably. In other news, the U.S. Consumer Confidence Index has fallen 40% in the last 5 months, which is down to a 45-year low.
Bravo.
We must make sure.
All right.
We must make sure that you do not appear here again.
It's lower than it was during the Great Recession. Lower than it was during COVID. Lower than it was during 9/11. It's lower than it was
make sure
since
that you
before
do
the
not
fall of
appear
the
here
Soviet
again.
Union.
Bailiff,
If I'm doing the math in my head right. All right. That's how much the administration has just fucked the United States in the last 3 months. Consumer confidence has fallen to 45-year low. Just fucking bruh. China has ordered all of its airline companies to cancel their orders from Boeing aircraft. And a lot of like ones that had been like ordered or partially delivered have begun flying the ways back to the United States because they've basically being returned. A United Airlines flight this week had an incident where immediately after takeoff they had to turn around and land because they suffered an engine fire during takeoff because the engine ate a rabbit.
Easter's been ruined.
Yeah, the Easter Bunny's fucking dead.
Fucking died, man.
It's a rabbit. We can make more.
We have
not if the first one's dead.
We have a bit of more good science news. Coming out of Germany.
Are you guys waiting on me? My bad.
Yeah.
Coming out of Germany. German scientists have developed a new kind of specialized tattoo ink that changes
good
color
fortune today.
That changes color based on bodily conditions such as pH, blood glucose level, and more.
I saw this, yeah.
Yeah. It basically allows a person to basically tattoo a built-in monitor for their health for people with chronic illnesses like diabetes and stuff. So they can basically monitor certain conditions in their bodies without having to take constant blood samples.
Oops.
which is
honestly, knowing people who have had diabetes throughout my life, it would be something amazing to generalize.
Yeah, it's like, hold on.
My
I need to
family
check
has
my
it.
blood glucose meter. Pulls down their sleeve to check their inner arm. Oh yeah, I'm good.
Dude, I have a family history of diabetes. Wait, Jimmy!
No, you can put them. You can put them. It's when they start growing.
But I wanted to put parsnips so that I could get the gold.
Oh.
Like I've been saying for the past 3 in-game days.
It's okay, don't worry, I got this. Oh, okay. I can take care of it if everybody's okay with it.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Yep.
But yeah.
Give me a sec. I think it's this button. Or this button? There we go. I'm stuck.
It's cool shit. If that is like, yeah, that goes forward, that gets approved, that'd be cool as hell.
Is that good or do you need more?
It should be good.
Okay.
Anyway.
Oh. I have something for you.
Back to the government being back on their bullshit again. Presumably under the orders of Doge, the American Food and Drug Administration has announced they will be outsourcing routine food safety inspections to state and local governments.
Here.
Which is...
Don't give them to me.
So yeah, food's gonna be dangerous in
Oh,
America.
I thought you were... I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get to see who's who.
God.
I'm the one with the...
I just assumed the closest person to...
I'm putting
What's
the
your food
parsnip
now?
seeds. I'm putting 5 parsnip seeds in a chest, Mina.
Okay.
That Rio gave me.
How many
Yeah,
do you
I
got?
had 5 extra.
5? Okay, let me get 5 more. Anyway, continue, Ryu. Or... Meep.
Yeah.
Meep.
So the FDA, presumably under the orders of Doge, is basically saying routine food safety inspections is going to have to be done
got
by the
your
state and
cutscene.
local governments now. So yeah, food's going to be dangerous in America again. Keep in mind, America already has relatively low food safety standards compared to actually functional countries. Because fucking of course it does. I'd like to point out also, the FDA also quietly published that back in February there was an E. coli outbreak that went unreported, and the FDA had to close the investigation, basically without detailing what happened or even who grew the infected lettuce. Guess which agency was one of the first to get pretty heavy-handed Doge cuts?
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, food safety in America is fucking dead again.
It's like you're
At
developing
a time where
backwards.
eggs are so expensive.
Oh, they'll be able to come back down because now they're allowed to be unsafe to eat.
The American Middle Age.
I'd like to point out to the Europeans, American chicken is already allowed to be shipped with salmonella. Yeah, that's a thing. In America, they're not required to make sure the chicken that they ship out doesn't have salmonella in it.
What?
Up in misery.
You're fucking crazy.
Which is one of the reasons why food safety involving chicken in the U.S. is for like actual like cooking it and stuff is much more stringent on what you need to do than in Europe, because there's a much like 27% or something like that of chicken in America is infected with salmonella.
That's why we're so strict about our
Darkness, my old friend.
That's why we're so strict about the what's it called?
Storage.
Eggs too.
Eggs too. Yeah, it's one of the reasons in my food safety course I took when I took one of those. They specifically mentioned make sure that poultry is stored lower in a fridge than any other kind of meat, because it needs to be cooked to a higher temperature to make sure the salmonella is cleared out. And in case there's any drippings, we don't want it getting on the other food.
Fair enough.
It's like apparently there was like an issue with something similar with like beef, but the like beef industries cooperated and like made sure that it was cleared out. And then they tried to do it with chicken, and chicken industry like, no, fuck you, it'd be too expensive.
To which the beef industry is now like, fuck, I should have done that.
Yeah.
You
the other thing of note-
cheapskates! Oh my god. Fuck
Yeah.
hell.
The other thing is,
Don't you want your customers to live so you can sell more?
Nah,
You're
it's too
disposable.
expensive.
The other thing is though in the U.S. the bigger problem is like plants and stuff because you generally don't cook lettuce. But the thing is, I'd like to want to. Whenever there's like an E. coli outbreak that gets like 15 people sick, that's like national news because it's such a thing that just doesn't happen nowadays. But you know, apparently we're gonna go back to normal where it's not even newsworthy because it happens so often. Fucking hate it here.
Like it has to be a certain level of danger for it to matter to them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Apparently a lot of like actual like people who grow like lettuce and shit are actually self-regulate stricter than the government because they realize it's such a problem for them. But like still,
yeah, I hear lettuce can be very I think infectious is the word, where they can absorb so much bad things very easily.
It's also because there's not actually a federal rule that states that they actually have to be watered with clean water.
Really? They can.
Yeah, no,
you can just kind of ignore that.
They're allowed to water their lettuce with like dirty water that has like.
Why would anybody do that? That sounds insane for someone who wants to grow lettuce.
Yeah, that's why a lot of the like lettuce growers have like, and a lot of other produce growers have like, self-regulate to be better because they know there's constantly news headlines of people having to recall all that shit. It's bad, but like, the fact that in the U.S. you're basically allowed to spray cow poop on lettuce.
Ew.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Wow.
I figured that's where it was coming from.
Federal regulation is. Alright. Me removing my lettuce from my burger to save calories. I can feel myself getting healthier.
It's stuff like this that makes me really appreciate as a kid going to like farms and stuff and seeing like people who genuinely enjoy doing food stuff safely, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway. Mina, passing of
Michelle Trottenberg. So Michelle Trottenberg was an actress. She unfortunately passed away from complications due to diabetes. She is in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Ooh, wow.
And she was in the kids show Truth or Scare, which was on Discovery Kids. It was a huge part of my childhood, and because tism, like cryptids, all that good stuff.
They are hot.
You just want to fuck Mouthman.
Oh, Mothman.
Mothman.
And the Loch Ness Monster. And Cthulhu.
All good choices, all good choices.
You can't tell me the Loch Ness Monster isn't hot.
I'm more of a Mothman person. I don't know.
No, okay. Don't get me wrong. Mothman is top tier, but like Nessie, beautiful name by the way. Like it is.
Indeed. It
is like right there. They're both S tier. Both sides of the gender spectrum, and then Cthulhu being non-binary.
Of course.
Because it's just a horror being. But I didn't watch Truth or Scare or Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I did recognize her from other things when I looked her up last time.
What was it again?
I gotta look it up again. What was her name again?
Michelle Trottenberg. I just hope that her family finds peace, knowing that she doesn't have to suffer anymore. And that she left an impact on a lot of people's lives, including my own. Ah, shit. Oh, amethyst.
There we go.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to start fishing for the coal.
She was Penny from the 1999 Inspector Gadget, which is one of my favorite like dumb movies. It's not that good. It's a live action Inspector Gadget, But
Well, I know them.
she plays his daughter.
I didn't even know Inspector Gadget fucked.
Oh my god.
Go Gadget.
I've been recently watching, rewatching again, Criminal Minds. And she's in Criminal Minds, and I know exactly who she plays. That's so crazy. I watched this episode recently. Let's see what else we got here. She's in 17 again. That's a pretty big movie. Nice. As Michelle, I don't remember it that well, so I don't know who that is. She's been in some pretty solid movies. She's been in House. She's had a very nice career.
Yeah, she was very not super famous, like superstar famous, but she was a great actress.
A consistent actress. You know?
Consistent, and her stuff was just consistently good too.
Is this an anime? She was in an anime? Oh, no, this is not an anime. I don't know what this is. That's insane. But shoutouts and rest in peace. Oh my god, I forgot we were playing Stardew.
I'm just trying to find some goddamn coal.
I should have... Here, I can do this for 2 seconds.
Anyway, what
Let's
else
see if
is
that
there?
works.
Next up, recently fully appointed Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., said some stupid shit. Yeah, so he held a press conference and he's getting flack for some of the bullshit he said. So a new study by the CDC has found 3% of children in the US have autism. Kennedy said the rise in diagnosis constitutes an epidemic and vowed to identify the environmental cause responsible for the disorder. He previously promoted a scientifically debunked claim that autism is caused by vaccines, denied that the uptick in diagnosis can be explained by experts learning more about the disorder and actually trying to diagnose it. One of the things that I think that we need to move away from today is the ideology that the autism prevalence increase, the relentless increase, are simply artifacts of better diagnosis, better recognition, or changing diagnostic criteria. The epidemic denial has become a feature of mainstream media. End quote. It's also
I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it.
He also said this quote, which this is a direct quote in its entirety. Autism destroys families and, more importantly, destroys our greatest resource, which is our children. These are children who should not be suffering like this. These are kids who will never pay taxes, they'll never hold a job, they'll never play baseball, they'll never write a poem, they'll never go on a date, many of them will never use a toilet unassisted. End quote.
Bitch.
Wait.
I've been on a couple dates.
Wait, huh? What does he think autism is? What?
He thinks it makes us stupid. To which millions of people were just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Here's our diagnosis. Here's my job. Here's my diploma. Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
I posted coral and sea urchins on one of the chests.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Bed. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Bed.
Ryu, get to bed! Ryu, get to bed!
Ryu, get to bed or not.
Sorry, I was looking at my phone. I'm getting a call.
It's 2 a.m.
Level 3 farming, let's go.
Now we have to pay the taxes, Ryu. Anyway, so yeah, autistic people, it's a spectrum. I was explaining it to my dad earlier. It's not that you're just stupid your entire life. It's not that you are like an invalid. You are still capable of rational thought. you are still capable of taking care of yourself. You're capable of holding down. And there's that example of Albert Einstein was literally the most autistic man. There's like a spectrum. There's Albert Einstein levels of autism, and then there's Elon Musk levels of autism, because he's the most destructively weaponized autistic man I've ever seen.
Just because he's constantly on drugs.
That too.
Allegedly.
And because he's an anti-vaxxer.
Elon Musk?
No, that's RFK Jr. who's the
Oh, I
anti-vaxxer.
thought, yeah, I was talking about RFK Jr., my bad.
Yeah, I was talking to Elon. Ryu, what you doing?
I mean, then again, RFK Jr. is also the guy who's famous for having brain worms, so...
Yeah. Could go for some McDonald's fries right now.
Oh, McDonald's fries? That sounds great.
Put them in the ice cream?
I've never done that, actually. Maybe I have? I don't
Kind of like the
remember.
milkshake.
But yeah,
No, I don't wanna
Mina's
do that.
reaction, first reaction is seeing RFK Jr. says people with autism can't pay taxes. Mina's like, where the fuck my tax cut?
Where the fuck is my
Right.
my tax exempt status?
Next up, is the U.S.
Uh-oh.
State Department has changed its mind on has decided to omit certain standards when it comes to what it considers human rights. Reading the article from NPR, the Trump administration is substantially scaling back the State Department's annual reports on international human rights to remove long-standing critiques of abuses such as harsh prison conditions, government corruption, and restrictions on participation in the political process.
Thank you, thank you.
No problem. I have 4 more if you need any. Ryu, stop.
I need 2 more coal. Anyway, continue.
Despite decades of precedent, the reports,
Ooh.
which are meant to inform congressional
I
decisions
like
on
it, I like it.
allocations and security assistance, will no longer call governments out for such things such as denying freedom of movement and peaceful assembly. They won't condemn retaining political prisoners without due process or restrictions on free and fair elections. Forcibly returning a refugee or asylum seeker to home country where they may face torture or persecution will no longer be highlighted, nor will be serious harassment of human rights organizations.
Oh, those poor
Yeah.
criminals.
Yeah, so basically, all the things the Trump administration wants to do are no longer considered violations of human rights, according to the Trump administration.
No shit, Sherlock. It's just...
Why is my jump not working?
In other news, a study has found U.S. toothpastes are nearly universally contaminated with lead and other heavy metals.
That explains why we've gotten stupider over the past couple of years.
The study notes that that they're pretty universally below the federal legal limits, though they are above the legal limits of the state of Washington in a few instances.
Right.
So, yeah.
I like brushing my teeth.
Yeah, brushing your teeth is now detrimental to your mental health. Well done.
Yay. You know, today we get to do a longer Roomba because we don't have D&D. Now that I think about it.
We can.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I can't stay super long because I still haven't eaten breakfast yet.
Oh, fair.
Let's have a
Yes,
bit of
same.
good news to lighten the mood up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
As I've covered before, the Caltrain commuter rail service up here near San Francisco recently electrified their trains. They've entered the modern age. As part of this, someone decided it would be a good opportunity to do some science, and took readings before and after the change on air quality around the corridor as well as within the vehicles. And that study got published, highlighting that the electrification cut certain air pollutant levels by nearly 90%.
Which means I'll finally be able to look over the Los Angeles airline and not just see a smoke cloud of smog.
This won't affect Los Angeles.
Aww.
This is San Francisco, not LA. Wrong famous part of California.
Fair enough. But still, if it cuts down like at least a little bit, even if it's not in a certain area, because air travels so fucking much, it will you'll still be able to see that.
It was something like immediately around and inside the trains, something like an 89% reduction in levels of black carbon, which is a known carcinogen.
Time to go fishing.
So, you know, let's
W.
go!
W's all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just need one more lump of coal.
In other news,
That's
Trump
cool.
has demanded the Security and Exchange Commission investigate a hedge fund which is shorting Trump media stock.
What?
You all remember what shorting stock means, right?
No, I don't.
No.
This was the thing that caused game stonks.
Huh?
Where basically
Fucking go.
shorting is when like you buy the stock and then with the agreement to sell it back to someone. Basically, you're betting on the value of the stock going down. Is what's going on basically, and basically someone is betting that the Trump media stock will go down, and Trump's throwing a hissy fit and demanding they be investigated over it.
What for? Who knows?
Because they're betting that he's not a good businessman, and that his wealth will go down, and he's throwing a hissy fit because he is the world's thinnest skinned man. Anyway, a judge has blocked the Trump administration from dismantling the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau because, you know, we don't need to protect consumers' finances. Why would we need to do that? U.S. intelligence agencies report no link between the Venezuelan government and the gang that Trump is using to invoke the Alien Enemies Act. Surprise Pikachu.
Surprise Pikachu.
Yeah. Surprise Pikachu, the Trump administration is full of shit. Mina, Thailand and JoJo.
Okay. Jimmy, bring up the tweet.
Oh, okay. Give me a second.
Thank you.
Jimmy, whack his pee-pee.
Bayleaf, whack his BB.
That's what I'm gonna start calling my mods.
Bailiff?
Where the hell is that tweet?
It's in images.
Ew, I got trash. Who threw this away? I'm looking at you, Jojo.
Oh, right. It's a
Okay.
fucking video.
Yeah, it's a video on Twitter. So there's this video on Twitter from Thailand where they revealed that a character was gay by showing off the Josuke and Rohan figurines, which is a popular ship for JoJo Part 4.
I thought this was something else. I know exactly what this is. I saw this. Ironically, while we were on VR chat yesterday.
Yep. Did anybody check the cave, by the way?
Not yet, no.
I did see a bat. I saw one bat, but then I walked out.
Okay, go back, check if they have dropped any fruit. Anyways, so yeah, they showed off a popular showing of Jo Suhan in this Thailand show. And, you know, JoJo is kind of the peak of masculinity.
Yeah.
And peak flamboyance. Peak comfortable flamboyance. It's just so fucking good. It's so good. And for whatever reason, in addition to this fucking amazing
Do we have to down
clip that I have shown you, there is also Thailand's second biggest political party that is, you know, very they're allies, right? Ally, that kind of shit. They have some political campaign ads that they drew, trying to, you know, move their party forward. Here's what a couple of them look like.
Oh my god.
They have stands, bitch.
This is
damn.
This is what we need.
I would totally vote for this lady who's doing the Josuke pose, but her stand kind of looks like the hand. So, a little bit of a confusion, but I love the energy. The fact that they have gay crazy diamond on here is so fucking good.
Okay, crazy.
One person's dressed as Rohan
and Lockheed Martin.
There's a guy dressed as Kira. I can't even read these fucking campaigns. But here's their fucking tour stop, I guess. Throughout all of Thailand.
What the hell?
The stand, honestly though, the stand design is peak. They're just introducing members of the party with this goddamn poster.
This is absolute fucking.
They know what they're doing.
Apparently,
They
yeah.
do know what they're doing.
Apparently, Taiwan's famous in Japan. In Taiwan. Apparently, JoJo is famous in Taiwan.
Thailand, not Taiwan.
This is Thailand.
Oh my god!
It both starts with a T.
Different
Don't worry
Thai.
about it.
I do like me some Thai food.
Do not confuse the Thais. Taiwan, Thailand, Tai Chi.
I would kill for some Thai food right now.
Ooh, I could go for some mango chicken followed up with some mango sticky rice.
Stop, I'm already hungry.
I'm also hungry, bitch. It's
I'm
almost
also
1 in the
hungry as well.
afternoon.
I haven't had dinner yet.
I have pizza. I'm fine.
The
Share
Supreme
some,
Court
bitch.
has-
Fuck you.
I kind
Uh-oh.
of want to end Roomba here just because we've been going for so long. And I don't want to get yelled at.
Fair enough. Okay, let's
I'm gonna
finish.
I'm gonna speed run what's left. I'm gonna try and speed run what's left. All right. U.S. Supreme Court, Rare W. They basically jumped ahead of a thing and told Trump, no, stop deporting Venezuelans. You're not allowed to do that. Stop being unconstitutional, bitch. But they jumped past the normal procedure, which is like an basically unprecedented thing where they're saying, shut the fuck up. That was 7-2. Wendy's Twitter got some flack. The Wendy's Twitter intern asked Jeff Bezos to send Katy Perry back to space.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, because Jeff Bezos sent a bunch of rich people to space again, and the Wendy's Twitter's like, yo, send them the fuck back. We don't want them. The Pope refused to meet with JD Vance and sent a cardinal in his place to lecture him on empathy.
Pope Francis W. Common W, may I add?
Yep. Sea turtles are on the road to recovery. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yo, let's fucking go.
Hold on, I
We're
saw
about
an
to get
article
so
about
much
this. I need to-
money.
Endangered sea turtle populations show signs of recovery in more than half of the world, a recent survey finds. Many of the turtle populations have come back, though some haven't. Duke archaeologist Stuart Pym, who was not involved with the research. Overall, the sea turtle story is one of real conservation success stories. The study looked at 48 different populations of sea turtles around the world, and they measured impacts of hunting, pollution, coastal development, and climate change. And in more of half of the area studied, the threats are declining overall.
Hell yeah.
However, there are some exceptions. Sea turtle populations in the Atlantic Oceans are more likely to be recovering than those in the Pacific waters. Leatherback turtles are not faring as well as other species, unfortunately. Globally, leatherbacks are considered vulnerable to extinction, but many groups are critically endangered, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature. All 7 of the regions where leatherbacks were found face high environmental risks. They are famous for making the longest known marine migrations of any animal, with some individuals swimming as many as 3,700 miles a day each way. That feat moves them through half a wide swath of regions and expose many of them to unique risks. Meanwhile, green turtles are still considered endangered globally, but their populations show signs of recoveries in many regions of the world. They've ended commercial harvests and allowed them to rebound. Their populations are now doing really well in many coastal waters off of the regions of Mexico and the United States.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sea turtles were protected on the U.S. UN U.S. Endangered Species Acts of 1973 and Mexico banned all captures of sea turtles in the 90s. But it took a few decades for the results to catch of these actions to show a trend. Around the world, the problem of sea turtles dying after accidentally becoming entangled in fishing gear remains a major threat. New technologies are being developed to spare them, and they must be accepted and used regularly by diverse fishing communities to be effective. This is the first update we've had on the turtle population in over a decade.
Hell yeah.
To bed.
The Equal Opportunity Commission, I forget the exact full, the EEOC thing in the US. Yeah, they basically got told to basically kill all their investigations into gender identity-based discrimination. Because fuck you, I guess. Thank you, Donald Trump. Very cool. Which then just leaves two things for the Roomba. Those being the Russia-Ukraine stuff, which I know Mina's not a fan of. So before that,
we can leave that for next week.
Today is Easter, so Bread Jesus must be today.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of these things could have waited. It's so long. My ass hurts from sitting here too long.
Here it is. The 1969 Easter Mass incident. Go ahead and rest your eyes, because I'm going to read this out.
Thank you.
So, I'm going to read this old Tumblr post verbatim, as best as I can. The 1969 Easter Mass incident. Content warning. Religion, food, symbolic cannibalism, symbolic gore, penis mention, blasphemy, so much blasphemy, weapons, war mention. Mind the warnings and your health always comes first. It's a hilarious story, I promise. As always, all the names have been changed to protect people's identities. This is a long one, so yeah. When my dad was a young man and still a practicing Catholic, he participated in a small church communion that nearly got him and 6 other people excommunicated. Father Patrick ran a small church outside of California Polytechnical, intended to be rather more liberal in his interpretation of scripture than most of the church was, which made him something of a hit with the local students and liberally inclined populace. Pat went to all manner of civil demonstrations, condemned the shit out of the Vietnam War and the politics that led to it, and so on. In January of 1969, a series of incidents led him to start exploring, quote, non-traditional means of holding Mass as a means of reaching out to his community, and exploring his own faith, which ultimately culminated in the 1969 Easter Mass incident. For those of you who weren't raised Catholic, communion is the ritual where you become one with Jesus by eating a really horrible bland wafer cookie and taking a shot of wine, called hosts, which then literally become the flesh and blood of Jesus in your mouth, allowing him to become one with you. It's a big fucking deal, and you have the opportunity to take communion at every Mass. All this had to be explained to me secondhand, because after this and Dad's 51 days in the army, Dad decided he wouldn't inflict religion on any children he might have in the future. Hey Dad, 6-year-old me asked the first time he told me the story. Isn't... Trying this story, after my practicing friends were talking about getting wine at church. Isn't that cannibalism? We're getting to that, he waved. The first incident in January was due to a serious cock-up by the church. All the hosts Father Pat received were moldering and spoiled, and probably would have killed someone if he'd actually fed anyone of them. This was the first Mass of the year when a peak number of people came in after vowing to go to church for New Year's. He could not have communion. I'll bake, offered Maria, the parish secretary and probably the best baker in the county. So we have hosts. Jesus will understand. Father Patrick, not one to pass on the chance of Maria's cooking, immediately agreed. A host is supposed to be composed solely of unleavened wheat flour and some water, which is why they taste terrible. Theological point of some importance relating to the Exodus or something. Maria had an important theological counterpoint. Jesus is both divine and loves all his children, ergo, Jesus would neither be a nasty bland cracker, nor want his children to suffer as such, so instead, she made Mexican wedding cookies. They were a spectacular hit. Many praises were heaped on Father Patrick for the much better wafers that they'd be sure to show up next week as long as Maria kept making them. Father Patrick figured that, hey, anything that gets people in the doors is good, and really, if it was turning to Jesus once it was inside the parishioner, did it really matter what the wafers were made of? so he continued to let Maria bake the host and encouraged her to try out new flavors like nutmeg and cinnamon. This went on swimmingly for a few weeks until the bishop showed up for a surprise visit the same week Maria decided to experiment with rainbow sprinkles. Dad remembered hearing the bishop through the windows roaring, "The holy body of Christ does not contain rainbow sprinkles!" This matter went cleared up to the archbishop, who decided that while Pat was probably right to not feed spoiled hosts to the parish, he should attend some remedial classes and remember what communion was all about, so if this happened again, he'd come up with a more suitable substitute. Father Patrick returned in late March, full of spite and some fascinating new ideas.
Oh no.
Is this where the cannibalism happened? 6-year-old me asked, eager to get to the good parts. At his remedial class, the teacher had stressed the importance of transubstantiation, aka a bit where the wafer and wine actually literally become the flesh of Jesus Christ, and we expect you to swallow. Also on the sublist was understanding the importance of Christ's suffering and sacrifice. So I was thinking about Easter service, said Father Patrick one afternoon while Dad was doing his computer science homework at the church because his dorm was a barely standing fire hazard and the library was where he went to have sex. Well, we do reenactments for Christmas. Why not on Easter? Why not reenact the crucifixion of Christ right here? Make it real for everyone. Probably great for the bond and bringing a community together. Who's playing Jesus? Asked Maria, always one for a good laugh. That's the thing. A host. It doesn't look much like flesh, right? It doesn't look much like anything, really. Not great for reinforcing one's belief. What if instead we, and by we I mean you, Maria, I can't cook to save my life, make a man-sized loaf of bread, and maybe in the shape of a T, and we put some boys dressed up as Romans, and whip the bread, and we pour the wine on it so it's bleeding, and then make a big wooden cross that actually nail the bread to it. I don't know, railroad spikes. Pour all the wine all over it, and raise the cross, all while telling the story of the crucifixion. He paused to take a drink. Maria suddenly crumpling onto the floor in her horrified laughter. Dad now thoroughly distracted from his homework. Then we lower the cross and invite everyone who wants to take communion up and tear a hunk of Jesus off, just to send into the corpse like vultures. I think that'd be a really good bonding experience for the church. He nodded thoughtfully. The hard part, I suppose, will be finding enough Romans. I want to be Longinus, bellowed my father, barreling into the room. And so the plan was hatched. Dad hit up every other guy in the church and eventually rounded up 4 more Romans, 3 of them from education department of Cal Poly, and 1 guy from chemistry who just really liked watching things burn. Which, being chemistry, accurate. Back to the story. This being a play, naturally meant there was a rehearsal and test bred Jesus. Maria had deduced that if they were going to start being extra literal, she needed to make the most lifelike bred Jesus possible, and made a distressingly buff and human proportioned Jesus. By advanced bread braiding, complete with plaited hair, quail's egg and raisin eyes, bready mustache, bready muscle groups, and an 8-pack, because why not make the Lord completely shredded? Just made the important theological distinction that since Jesus loves everyone and was happy to die in spite of all his suffering, he should be smiling, and a toothy corn kernel smile. He was wonderful and terrifying all at once. Maria asked Father Patrick after a few minutes of delighted and horrified cooing over Jesus' toothy grin, "Why is he wearing a tea towel?" "Well, he's the Son of God, a man with all that entails." She pointedly staring at Father Patrick while everyone started the suspiciously lumpy tea towel, and he might have burnt slightly. Everyone nodded and agreed that the tea towel was the best course of action. The rehearsal goes splendidly, and everyone agrees that this is the most delicious bread Jesus they've ever the most delicious Jesus they've ever had. So I'm sure you all can see where this is going.
Oh god.
Nowhere good is the answer, and that's the brilliant part. Easter Sunday arrives, and the church is packed. From the more lapsed Catholics showing up for a high holiday, parents visiting for spring break, and a whole horde of newcomers who had gotten wind that something was up and they ought to come. Dad is a lanky as hell, 21-year-old composed mostly of technical jargon and acting, but he is stoked to be playing Longinus, the Roman that speared Jesus on the cross, because he gets to do the best technical effect in the whole parade. Since he came at the end and missed a good portion of the sermon, but he did hear the ooh from the crowd as the massive cross is dragged in by the other Romans, followed by horrified gasps and high screams and a discernible what the fuck as they brought in the bread Jesus 2.0, who became enthusiastically hammering him into the cross. The sound of wine splashing onto the floor, loud and terrified silence of the parishioners. Finally, Father Patrick gets to the part about Longinus, and Dad comes sprinting down the aisle as hard as he can, because the order for bread Jesus to be seen by everyone His middle has to be on 10 feet off the ground, so Dad has to run, shrieking Latin curses down the length of the church with a big honking spear, take a flying leap at Jesus in order to spear him in the gut. Please take a moment to imagine you are some normal God-fearing Catholic who is decided to visit little Bobby or maybe Patricia at college, and you're all going to church together like a nice family, and this fucking madman has decided to go all Silence of the Lambs on mass. And now there's some sort of underfed, translucently pale man in ill-fitting Roman armor and a cape playing horrifying glutinous effigy of your Lord and Savior with an actual fucking spear, screaming like a madman. Don't you feel yourself drawing close to God already? Defensively, perhaps, like an octopus trying to ooze itself into a crevice against the horrors of the ocean. However, two things happen that were not planned on. One, Dad misses. In his defense, Bread Jesus is close to but not quite the size of a man, while the size of a doughy teenager, and his middle is a small target 10 feet up in the air, and Dad has a computer science minor, not an athletic scholarship. He misses by about 8 inches, and instead very solidly stabs Bread Jesus right through the groin, leaving a big hole in Maria's tea towel and the spear jutting out at a decisively attentive angle as Bread Jesus' bread dick drops to the floor with a splat. Nobody notices, however, because 2. In rehearsal, Dad had managed to get the spear right in Jesus' navel, but neither Father Patrick nor the other Romans could get the wine up there to make his middle appropriately bloody. Maria came up with a genius solution that since wine is made out of grapes and jam is made of grapes, she could make a jelly-filled Jesus for Dad to stab. There was a normal-sized test loaf, and when Dad stabbed it on the table, a nice gooey dribbling effect occurred. However, this time the loaf was torso-sized, still hot from the oven, and upright, so when Dad speared the very end of the loaf, all the steam pressured jam had collected at the bottom, and a spray of lukewarm Smuckers exploded out of Bread Jesus, turning the first 3 pews into a splash zone of symbolic entrails. There was a hot, sticky minute of complete silence in the church after that. Then Father Patrick indicated it was time for the cross to be lowered, and continued with the normal preparations of the host, he himself covered in hot Smuckers as though nothing particularly out of the ordinary was occurring, quietly kicking the bread dick under the altar. At the end of it all, Father Patrick invited everyone up with the last orientation, quoting the Bible, "Thou, O God, has kindly allowed us to have a part in the holy sacrifice. For this we give thee thanks. Accept it now to thy glory, to be ever mindful of our weakness. Amen." End quote of the Bible. And everybody came up, shuffling like terrified zombies, pinching off tiny bits at first, but then the madness took them, and they began tearing apart Bread Jesus by the handful, weeping as they partook scattered prayers and begging for forgiveness. The whole congregation was kneeling about the altar, tearful and united in their guilt and the need for God. Is church always like that? 6-year-old me asked, absolutely stoked I'd convert on the spot if I got a show like that. No, but bland wafers and lots of chanting Latin. Well, that's boring as hell, I remember muttering as Dad snorted the coffee he was drinking out of his nose.
I love the Bread Jesus story so much.
I think next year I'm gonna be the one who has to read it.
What the hell, man?
Each year, everyone reads the Bread Jesus story is like a different person each year.
I'm pretty sure I read it last year, but we're reading it again because it's funny.
It is.
It's a good story.
Oh, hold on. I'm having to copy paste it to a Google Doc real quick. Hold on. As people filed silently out of the church to a gloriously sunny California afternoon, faces is wine and smeared with wine and jam, Father Patrick turned to Maria and asked, "You don't think that was too much, do you?" "No," said Maria with a sarcastically deadpan so intense it was hard to tell from sincerity. It was the exact same tone she used when the Archbishop and 6 other high clergy showed up, clutching the letters someone had written, livid and almost foaming at the mouth, demanding to know if such blasphemy had transpired. "No, that's crazy," she said, staring down the Archbishop like he was an idiot. Such imagination some people had, said Father Patrick, much less convincingly. "And you didn't spear the effigy of our Lord and Savior," the Archbishop demanded of my father. "Do I look like I can jump that high?" Dad asked, having been the interim, been drafted for 51 days, then nearly died of pneumonia from it, and therefore no longer afraid of the church, the law, or God. Somewhat relieved that he'd only received an extremely detailed ramblings of a doddering parishioner, the Archbishop sat down and complimented Maria on her most excellent Mexican wedding cookies, and May he please have another plate for his nerves, perhaps the ones with the sprinkles. Dad went on to help build the internet. Father Patrick converted to Buddhism, and Maria became a nun. For those wondering, Jesus was made of chalaha, CHLLAH,
It's challah bread.
made of challah bread. Okay.
Challah. You have to have the on it. It's a Jewish type of bread that they usually use.
And yeah, that concludes the bread Jesus story. Sacrilegious
That
be its name.
was one hell of a ride, honestly.
I
like,
love Bread Jesus story so much, and you are
didn't
doing
see
us a
anything
disservice by not having a picture of Bread Jesus up.
Unfortunately, it does not come with a picture.
Damn it.
I wish it
I
did.
would have
Look,
loved to
if
see
we had
that.
an image, I would have posted it. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hold on.
Long live bread, Jesus.
Oh shit.
Okay,
sick.
Hold on. This is the closest I can get. I Google searched bread Jesus and got this was one of the responses. There we go. Jesus on toast. Anyway, with that, the only thing left is the Ukraine and Russia news. So I know Mina doesn't like to be here for that part, so go get some food.
I'm going to get some food. If I leave the Stardew Valley game, you guys will still be able to play, right?
I don't think so.
Were
It's
you?
okay.
No, because I know.
So.
Damn. So you and Matt weren't able to continue playing when I left?
No,
Okay. Damn.
it's not like Minecraft.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stay in bed and you guys can vibe.
Okay.
Alright.
I am sick. There you go.
Oof.
Get well soon.
She means in a non
In the game.
in
Ah,
game.
still in game. Oof. Clarification, go burr.
All right. Later, guys.
Later.
Later.
Alright. So, Ukraine and Russia news.
Yep.
To start us off this week, we have Germany. The incoming German Chancellor has signaled willingness to provide Taurus cruise missiles to Ukraine, something the preceding Chancellor had stonewalled. He also said that he would allow Ukraine full unrestricted targeting of Russian assets with them, and specifically mentions the Crimean Bridge as a valid target. Russia proceeds to directly threaten Germany in response, and calls the incoming Chancellor a Nazi.
Of course.
Bro,
Yeah.
literally. Ah, wait, it's a German. Wait, what insult are we going to drop? He's a Nazi.
Yeah.
Well, joke's on you, the Nazis are in America.
Yes. We also have this week the 3-year anniversary of the underwater cultural heritage site of Ukraine.
Which is...
Oh, yeah.
Because 3 years ago, this week, Ukraine sank the Russian Slava-class missile cruiser, the Moskva.
Huh?
The flagship of the Black Sea Fleet, which Ukraine then claimed as a underwater cultural heritage site, because funny.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They shot 2 missiles at it and it sunk the ship because they both hit because it was just not working. Because Russia. Russian Navy, laughing gift. Russia once again conducted strikes against the city of Sumy, which got a rare actual response from Donald Trump. He called it terrible, and he said he was told it was a mistake, but you know it wasn't a mistake. They did this on purpose.
Absolutely.
But you know he actually responded, which is unusual from this administration. The Russians managed to get a drone strike on a passenger train, a Ukrainian passenger train, which fortunately was empty because it had not yet boarded, but still. Ukraine is reportedly running critically low on high-end Western air defense missiles in order to defend their cities. Trump then used this to victim blame Ukraine on the war again in regard to their missile shortage.
How?
He basically said, "You don't start a war and then hope people give you missiles." I'd like to point out, one, he's victim blaming Ukraine for starting the war again, and second of all, that was in response to Ukraine asking to buy missiles. Also this week, there was a slight fucky-wucky on behalf of the Russians. The Russian media put out a propaganda video about one of their FPV drone operators, where they accidentally doxed his location.
Brilliant.
Oh no, it gets better. Now, the Ukrainian drone operators usually operate from bunkers or dugouts near the front line. This Russian drone operator was very clearly in a skyscraper.
Huh?
And there's only about 3 square blocks of skyscrapers in all of Russia. And they're all located in Moscow. And these are very much civilian buildings, which Russia just designated as a valid military target. Because they just said, hey, we have military personnel conducting military operations from inside these buildings. Because Russia, everybody. The Russian state media did pull this clip down, both because they actually have some stance, and two, these buildings are like big propaganda pieces for Russia, so, you know, can't risk those being damaged.
Yeah.
But yeah, since technically, even though these are civilian buildings, because Russia published that they have military personnel operating military equipment from inside them, by the rules, they are now valid military targets. So, you know, we'll see. According to studies, the Russian birth rate has reached a 200-year low.
That is pretty low.
Yeah.
200 years ago. Damn. There was some shit happening back then.
Yeah, the Russian population is, Ukraine achieved a major success in the form of a drone strike on a Russian ball bearing factory, which appears to have burnt to the ground.
Goddamn.
Now, for people who aren't super into it, okay, ball bearings, cool, whatever. No, this is fucking huge. Ball bearings are used in basically everything mechanical.
Yeah,
and they are actually kind of hard to produce. Especially en masse. Like, let's put it this way. When, in World War II, when America started its strategic bombing campaign against Germany, the first thing we targeted was ball bearing factories.
Because everything mechanical uses ball bearings. Which,
yes.
It's funny, you say that, and I remember in Tank Mechanic Simulator, you see a lot of those.
Yeah. It's like, to be fair, a lot of uses there, they can be substituted for slide bearings if you have access to lots of high quality lubrication. Russian oil refinery keeps blowing up and their crude oil is crap. Though, to be fair, they are in a slightly better position than Nazi Germany was, where they just didn't have oil. An uncovered internal Russian document indicates that some frontline Russian artillery units are using nearly 100% North Korean ammo.
Damn.
Damn.
They're just desperate.
Ukraine has uncovered evidence and accused China of directly supplying Russia with weapons and ammunition, including directly producing said weapons and ammunition on Russian territory. Which is a bit of like one of those, like, a lot of people who have been paying attention to this would just go, surprised Pikachu. Because like, it's kind of obvious Russia's been getting help from China, but like we actually have proper evidence of this other than circumstantial evidence. In other news, Ukraine this week launched a mass counterattack in the region of Luhansk, where over the course of 30 hours they advanced, captured the entire town of Nadia, And to quote the reporting I saw on this, quote, flattened the front line, crushed the enemy and their reserves.
Yay!
So, great success. Meanwhile, with the Russians, they conducted an assault near the city of Pokrovsk, which didn't go very well because the tanks all immediately got stuck in the mud and they sent the infantry on ahead without them. Which didn't go very well, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
The Economist reports that the Pentagon officials reached out to an unspecified allied state, theorized to be the UK, telling them to stop supplying arms to Ukraine. The unspecified allied state refused. Because, spoiler alert, the Trump administration is on Putin's side. Because fuck my life. Fuck the Ukrainians. I hate it here. In other news this week, the Russians released a video of one of their artillery spotting drones that they filmed from this drone. Of them just artillery striking an apartment block in Kherson. As Russia's just not even pretending to be above board, as they're directly spotting their fall of shot to just slam artillery shells into an apartment building. They're not even trying anymore to pretend they're like being above board on this. In other news, in southern Russia, in the Caucasus, there's reports of what Russia says is a large number of troops going AWOL. However, when troops go AWOL, they usually aren't breaking into military bases. Because what actually happened is in the city of Krasnodar, approximately an entire company of Russian soldiers mutinied and attempted to break into the commandant's office, presumably to try and kill them for their horrible treatment. It's unknown if they succeeded in that objective, because Russia has locked down the entire city over what happened to try and contain the mutiny. So, yeah. This is the second major instance of mutiny in the Russian military that we've heard of. The first one being the Wagner coup, but this is the first time of it being the actual Russian military proper and not mercenaries. So, that's how things are going for Russia, is they're starting to have mutiny problems. A Russian official claimed that the energy ceasefire that Russia was ignoring anyway has officially ended.
No shit, it ended already a lot of time. It wasn't even in effect.
Yeah, the Russians were just ignoring it anyway. And the last bit of major news that I saw this week is Ukraine has officially announced that they have multiple laser defense systems in operation to try and defend their cities from the mass Shahed drone swarms. We're officially in the 21st century, boys. Ukraine's using fucking laser beams.
Me when spawn laser.
Me when But, yeah. And that's the last thing I saw was Ukraine announced that they've got laser weapons defending some of their cities, and specifically against the Shahed drone threat, because Russia's been building a lot of those to try and just slam into apartment buildings and shit, because Russia's fucking awful. Shit's fucked, yo. It's just terrible. I hate it here. Like, if we were a fucking competent country that was actually like good at shit, it wouldn't be like we're like negotiating. Like, no, Ukraine's getting all the fucking shit they want. And Russia, you're gonna fucking get the fuck out of that country before we fucking mate here. Because
That would be the happy ending, yeah.
yeah, that would be the happy ending. If America just starts like, yo, Ukraine, we don't really have need for this anymore. Here's a Ticonderoga class cruiser. Have fun. Just fucking obliterate all the Russian air assets. Lamau.
Ah, bro, shit's
Because
fucked up
America's
anyhow.
trying to retire those old things because they're fucking old and not in the best shape. But they do have a lot of missiles. So,
Magic
there's
missile.
that. Yeah. Yeah. The Navy's trying to retire them because they're old and kind of obsolete nowadays and in pretty poor shape, honestly. But the Congress keeps telling them, no, you can't do that. You spent a bunch of money to modernize them, and the Navy's like, yeah, because you won't let us get rid of them, and we've been trying to get rid of them for years, and you forced us to go through the modernization plan. Even though we don't want to, because they're in terrible condition. Anyway. With that, though, that kind of concludes what I have to say. I'd scroll news for more. However, we've been going for many hours at this point.
Nearly 4 hours.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm sure Ryu's hungry. Mina's left because she's hungry.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, we all hungry. We all want food.
Yeah, except the Dutch people because they have dinner at weird fucking times.
What do you mean?
5-6 p.m.
Yes!
What is weird about that?
6 p.m. is a little bit early.
It's so fucking not a little. It's so fucking early. What the hell?
I have dinner
Like, you
at
can
like
have
7.
it at 6 p.m. but also at night.
I still
I think
haven't had
both
dinner at
times make
7 p.m.
sense.
What the hell are my parents doing?
I have dinner at like 7. Sometimes earlier.
I know some people that find dinner in general a curse thing. Yeah.
Between 6 and 7 is usually when dinner is on around here, at least.
Oh.
Anyway. We're gonna raid anyone?
Who can we raid?
I don't know. I have the mod view up. It means I can't see who's currently, if anyone is live. Let's see.
Is Riot still online? Is
Wait,
Pika Curse still online?
are you kidding me? Wait a
Rip.
second.
I forgot about this.
Hold on, I need to check something. Because I feel like there's another person that it's their birthday. So we're going to raid them. Raid. We're going to raid Aurora, the resident screaming Welsh VTuber woman. So we're gonna raid her and wish her also a happy birthday. So I'll see you all tomorrow for ZZZ and maybe Mario Kart, probably Terraria. Yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.
Thanks for all the fish.
Okay, bye.
All right, the raid is off. Happy birthday, Bolt.